tighten fiscal discipline without compromising social spending. Right, Honorable Speaker, the recent IMF Executive Board affirms this new economic management model, noting that faced with large policy slippage and reform delays at end 2024, the new NDC administration had taken bold corrective actions to maintain the program on track. Right, Honorable Speaker, the IMF further noted that these corrective actions, combined with continuous structural reforms and an improved external sector, are expected to result in economic stability, resilience, and inclusive growth. Mr. Speaker, we streamlined and increased investment in education, health, agriculture, and infrastructure, as well as employment. In fulfillment of our major manifesto pledge, we established the Ghana Gold Board through Act 1140 to accumulate foreign exchange to support the stability of the Ghana cedi. We have restored coordination between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana to ensure a cohesive and integrated approach to economic policy making across relevant institutions. Mr. Speaker, in less than 200 days, we have brought back clarity, certainty, stability, and purpose to our economic policy direction. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have made significant progress. The signs of recovery are obvious, evident, noticeable, visible, tangible, and they are being felt. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's fiscal position has significantly improved. The primary balance on commitment basis posted a surplus of 11.1% of GDP at the end of June 2025, beating the ambitious 0.4% surplus target for the same period. Right, Honorable Speaker, the overall fiscal deficit on commitment basis was 0.7% of GDP, outperforming the target of 1.8% at the end of June 2025. Mr. Speaker, inflation has reduced significantly from 23.8% at the end of December 2024 to 13.7% at the end of June 2025. Mr. Speaker, it is important to note that this is the lowest since December 2021 and marks 6 months of continuous decline. Interest rates are declining with a drastic drop in Treasury bill rates. The 91-day Treasury bill rate has reduced from 27.73 in December 2024 to 14.73 in June 2025, a decline of over 1,300 basis points. Mr. Speaker, the 182-day T-bill rate has reduced from 28.43% in December 2024 to 15.34 in June 2025, a decline of another 1,300 basis points. Mr. Speaker, the 364-day T-bill rate has also reduced from 29.95 in December 2025 to 15.76 in June 2025, marking a decline of over 1,400 basis points. Gross international reserves has significantly improved, Mr. Speaker. The Bank of Ghana accumulated $11.12 billion, covering 4.8 months of import at the end of June 2025. And this compares to $8.98 billion, covering a 4 month of import as at end December 2024. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana cedi has demonstrated exceptional resilience and strength in recent months. At the end of June 2025, the Ghana cedi appreciated by 42.6% against the US dollar, 30.3% against the British pound, and 25.6% against the euro. This is a significant reversal compared to the same period in 2024 when the cedi depreciated by 18.6%, 17.9%, and 16.0% respectively. Mr. Speaker, so far we have almost reversed all the cedi depreciations in the year 2022, 2023, and 2024. Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to note that it is the first time that this level of appreciation has been recorded in the 60 years history of the Ghana cedi. Rating agencies, which once classified our sovereign creditworthiness as junk, are beginning to upgrade our ratings. Fitch Ratings upgraded Ghana's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating to B- with a stable outlook from restricted default on the 17th of June 2025. The IMF program is back on track with the successful conclusion of the fourth review by the IMF Executive Board on the 7th of July 2025, which immediately triggered the disbursement of $367 million United States dollars. Right, Honorable Speaker, beyond the numbers, this is a story of sound leadership, better economic management, and a restoration of hope to a nation once in despair. Let me, on behalf of the President John Mahama, sincerely thank the people of Ghana for their trust, patience, and continued support. We do not take your sacrifice for granted. Mr. Speaker, this government did not come to simply manage the decline. We came to reverse it and reset our country. The gains of these first 6 months are just the beginning. Mr. Speaker, these early successes only encourages us to stay the focus, stay disciplined, and continue to do more for the people of Ghana. There is still a long road ahead, but our steps are now steadier. Our direction clearer, and the national spirit has been lifted with the gradual restoration of hope in our democracy. We have moved from promises to purpose, from ineptitude to action, and from distress to relief. Mr. Speaker, we have established policy credibility and restored credit worthiness. Right, Honorable Speaker, the rest of my presentation will focus on 4 areas: macroeconomic performance for the first 6 months of 2025, the status of Ghana's debt restructuring, and the status of implementation of key government programs. Before I conclude, macroeconomic performance, Mr. Speaker, for January to June 2025. Mr. Speaker, the first half of 2025 has demonstrated our government commitment to economic recovery. Through prudent fiscal management, sound monetary policies, effective structural reforms, and strategic investment, we are laying a solid foundation for sustainable growth and shared prosperity. To put the assessment of the economy in the first half of 2025 in a proper perspective, it will be useful to restate the ambitious yet attainable macroeconomic target we set for ourselves for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, we set for ourselves an overall real GDP growth of at least 4%, non-oil real GDP growth of at least 4.8%, end-year inflation rate of at least 11.9%, primary balance on commitment basis at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP, and gross international reserves covering not less than 3 months of import cover. Right, Honorable Speaker, I now take you to the real sector. Mr. Speaker, despite global economic uncertainties, Ghana's economy demonstrated robust growth. In the first half of 2025, the economy expanded by 5.3%, up from 4.9% in the same period of 2024, marking the highest first quarter growth since 2020. The agriculture sector led this growth with a remarkable 6.6% increase, about 3 times the growth in the first quarter of 2024. The agriculture sector growth contributed 26.4% of the overall first quarter growth. The fishing subsector grew the most at 16.4%. Mr. Speaker, the service sector constituting the largest share of the economy of 46.8% grew by 5.9% and contributed 47.9% to the overall first quarter growth, with information and communication technology leading the growth in the sector at 13.1%. Industry grew by 3.4% in the first quarter of 2025, contributing 20.6% to the overall first quarter growth. Manufacturing also posted an impressive growth of 6.6%. Right, Honorable Speaker, non-oil GDP growth, the real sector, also picked up strongly, growing at 6.8% in the first quarter of 2025, compared to the growth rate of 4.3% in the same period in 2024. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, the non-oil GDP growth is the highest since 2018. It is expected that with the introduction of our 24-hour economic policy, the Big Push program, and the Agriculture for Economic Transformation program, the GDP growth will be sustained and possibly exceed the target of 4% for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to prices. Right, Honorable Speaker, we pledge to pursue the following to reduce inflation. We pledge to implement aggressive fiscal consolidation drive aimed at reducing the fiscal deficit and borrowing. Mr. Speaker, we pledge to stabilize the exchange rate to reduce inflation on items that rely on the exchange rate for pricing, such as fuel, transportation, imported sugar, rice, and cooking oil. We pledge to implement policies that target items with large weight in the CPI basket, such as transportation and utilities, to reduce their prices. We also pledge to implement, through the Bank of Ghana, to implement an appropriate monetary policy stance and use its liquidity management interventions to support the disinflation process. And finally, Mr. Speaker, we pledge to implement Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda to reduce food inflation. Mr. Speaker, it is instructive to know that these intentional policies announced in the 2025 budget to tame inflation are yielding massive results. Inflation pressures have eased significantly. The drastic fall in inflation is not by chance or sheer luck, but as a result of hard work and deliberate government policies. Mr. Speaker, consumer price inflation has reduced from 23.8% in December 2024 to 13.7% in June 2025. This represents a massive 10.1 percentage point decline. Similarly, producer price inflation saw a sharp decline from 26.1% in December 2024 to 5.9% in June 2025, representing a steep decline of 20.2 percentage points in just 6 months. Mr. Speaker, food inflation declined from 27.8% in December 2024 to 16.3% in June 2025, representing an encouraging 11.5 percentage point reduction. Non-food inflation also declined from 20.3% in December 2024 to 11.4% in June 2025, representing 8.9 percentage point reduction. Inflation for locally produced goods and services declined from 26.4% in December 2024 to 14% in June 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, inflation for imported items decreased from 18% in December 2024 to 12.5% in June 2025. These improvements are reflective of the effective fiscal consolidation, tight monetary policy, strong central bank reserves, and the appreciation of the Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, with this trend, we are focused and determined to achieve our end December 2025 inflation target of 11.9% ahead of schedule. Mr. Speaker, let me assure this House and the people of Ghana that things can only get better in the coming days. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to interest rate movement. Interest rates have declined, reflecting improved macro conditions. Mr. Speaker, the 91-day Treasury bill rate has reduced by 13 percentage points from 27.7% in December 2024 to 14.7% in June 2025. Similar trends were observed in the 182 days and the 364 days bills. The 182-day Treasury bill rate decreased by 13.1 percentage points from 28.43 in December 2024 to 15.34 in June 2025. The 364 Treasury bill rate also declined by 14.19 percentage points from 29.95 in December 2025 to 15.76 in June 2025. The average lending rate decreased from 30.3% in December 2024 to 27% in June 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Ghana reference rate fell from 29.31% in December 2024 to 24.0% in June 2025. So, Speaker, things can only get better. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have indeed saved 4.9 billion Ghana cedis on domestic interest payment as at end June 2025 due to our prudent debt management policy. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to fiscal performance. Fiscal performance. Mr. Speaker, our fiscal discipline has yielded the needed and remarkable results so far. We have delivered below target deficit on both cash and commitment basis. We have delivered a greater than anticipated primary surplus, the core fiscal anchor. We have delivered a strong expenditure and commitment control. We have delivered robust tax revenue performance. Mr. Speaker, provisional data shows that the primary balance on commitment basis, the fiscal anchor, as at end June 2025, recorded a surplus of 1.1% of GDP, surpassing the target surplus of 0.4% of GDP set for the same period. The overall fiscal deficit on commitment basis was a deficit of 0.7% of GDP, better than the deficit target of 1.8% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, on cash basis, the overall balance recorded a deficit of 1.1% of GDP. This is significantly better than the projected deficit target of 2.4% of GDP. The primary balance on cash basis turned surplus at 0.7% of GDP against a projected deficit of 0.2% of GDP. The non-oil tax revenue, net, exceeded target by about 787 million Ghana cedis. Corporate income tax exceeded target by 555.3 million, representing 2.9% above target. Mineral royalties exceeded its target by 143 million. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, import duties fell short of target by 1.6 billion. Expenditures were contained at 109.7 billion Ghana cedis, or 7.8% of GDP. This was 14.3% below the program amount of 128 billion, or 9.1% of GDP, reflecting strong expenditure control. Mr. Speaker, primary expenditure on non-interest expenditure on commitment basis amounted to 84.3 billion, or 6.0% of GDP. This is an improvement of about 13.3 billion over the target of 97.5 billion, which is 7% of our GDP. Mr. Speaker, interest payment amounted to 25.4 billion, which is 1.8% of GDP. This is below the target of 30.5 billion, which is 2.2% of GDP, and this was mainly due to lower domestic interest payment. Domestic interest payment amounted to 21.6 billion against a target of 26.5 billion, representing a reduction of 4.9 billion Ghana cedis, mainly on account of lower than planned domestic borrowing and the decline in the T-bill rates. Mr. Speaker, external interest payment amounted to 3.8 billion Ghana cedis against a target of 4 billion, due mainly to the appreciation of the Ghana cedis. Other expenditure, mainly comprising energy sector levies, transfers and energy sector payment shortfalls, amounted to 11.4 billion Ghana cedis, or 8% of GDP. This was 12.7% below the target of 13.1 or 0.9% of GDP for the same period. Right, Honorable Speaker, arrest clearance amounted to 4.8 billion Ghana cedis. It is important to note that there was no build-up in arrests payable during the period under review, signaling strong commitment control and fiscal discipline. Mr. Speaker, we are very different from our friends that decided to flee from the chamber. Mr. Speaker, the deficit was largely financed from domestic sources, with net domestic financing of 13.1 billion, well below the 18.7 billion target. The net financing The net foreign financing was 2.8 billion, mostly from the utilization of the 4.5 billion IMF disbursement. So, Speaker, between 1st of January to 6th of January, the IMF disbursement of 4.5 billion was spent before the Mahama administration took office just in 6 days. Mr. Speaker, project loan disbursement was 2.4 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, even though Ghana is relying on the domestic market for financing, we have borrowed less than we planned, signifying strong expenditure control and fiscal discipline. Right, Honorable Speaker, this is a strong signal to the investor community and all stakeholders that the needed fiscal consolidation is happening here in Ghana and it will be sustained. Right, Honorable Speaker, Ghana is back on the international scene. Mr. Speaker, exchange rate development. Right, Honorable Speaker, government commitment to implement the following measures, committed to implement the following measures to stabilize the exchange rate. Mr. Speaker, we committed to establish the Ghana Gold Board to enhance the generation and accumulation of foreign exchange to support the stability of our currency. Mr. Speaker, we committed to pursue strong fiscal consolidation through the reduction in public sector spending and the fiscal deficit to reduce the pressures on the exchange rate. Mr. Speaker, the Bank of Ghana also committed to implement appropriate FX forward auction to support the stability of the cedi. And Mr. Speaker, finally, we committed that the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program will boost local production and reduce reliance on export. Right, Honorable Speaker, let me state emphatically that these deliberate policies announced in the 2025 budget to stabilize the Ghana cedi are yielding massive results. The results we are witnessing are not by chance. They are the fruits of hard work, discipline, and intentional policies. Mr. Speaker, the cedi performance in the first half of the year 2025 has been impressive. The Ghana cedi experienced significant appreciation against all major trading currencies in the first 6 months of 2025. I'm happy to inform the House that our previous record, where the Ghana cedi used to trade against the US dollar at 17, is as at yesterday trading at 10.4. Mr. Speaker, similarly, the Ghana cedi, which was once trading at 21 cedis to the British pound, was trading at 14.1 as at yesterday, 23rd July 2025. Mr. Speaker, as at end June 2025, the cedi appreciated by 42.6% against the US dollar, 30.3% against the British pound, and 25.6% against the euro. This is a significant improvement over the cedi depreciation of 18.6%, 17.9%, and 16.0% against the US dollar, British pound, and the euro. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, so far, we have almost reversed all the cedi depreciation in 2022, 2023, and 2024. This level of appreciation has never happened in the history of our country. Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, fellow citizens, Ghana cedi no apeke. Cedi no apeke. Mr. Speaker, these gains are largely due to strong fiscal consolidation, tight monetary policy, improved external sector balance, renewed investor confidence, positive market sentiment, credit rating upgrades, and successfully securing staff level agreement and subsequently the board level approval of the fourth review of the IMF program. Right Honorable Speaker, the cedi rebound signals that Ghana's economic foundations are once again beginning to firm up. Sustaining this stability will require continued fiscal discipline, supportive monetary policy, strong liquidity sterilization, robust reserve accumulation, supported by activities of the Ghana Gold Board, and credible implementation of structural reforms. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to the external sector. Right Honorable Speaker, Our external sector has shown remarkable improvement in the last 6 months. Gross international reserves reached $11.12 billion by June 2025, covering 4.8 months of imports, up from $8.98 billion in December 2024, equivalent to 4%, 4 months of import cover. Mr. Speaker, in just 6 months, even before the IMF and World Bank disbursement, in fact, without external borrowing, we have added $2.14 billion to the country's gross international reserves. Right, Honorable Speaker, trade surplus increased from $1.37 billion in June 2024 to $5.57 billion in June 2024, representing a whopping 306.6% increase just in 6 months. Mr. Speaker, this was driven by strong exports, particularly in gold, cocoa, and controlled imports. Mr. Speaker, the current account surplus improved significantly to a provisional $3.44 billion by June 2025 from $28.11 billion in June 2024. Provisional net capital and financial inflows reached $937.58 million in June 2025, indicating renewed investor confidence. Mr. Speaker, I take you to monetary and the financial sector development. Right, Honorable Speaker, monetary indicators point to a sustained monetary expansion. Credit to the private sector increased by about 31.3% in June 2025. Reserve money growth moderated and M2 growth remained consistent, supported by increased deposit mobilization and improved net foreign asset. Net domestic asset growth slowed, while net foreign asset surged, indicating a shift in liquidity drivers towards external inflows. Right, Honorable Speaker, I take you to the recapitalization of the National Investment Bank. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that I updated this House during the 2025 budget presentation on the restructuring and recapitalization of the National Investment Bank, our NIB, as one of the critical reforms in the financial sector that should have been delivered in 2024. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, after spending a whopping $30.3 billion in the so-called financial sector cleanup exercise, the previous NPP administration left NIB in dire straits with a capital adequacy ratio of a negative 53.13% by end of June 2024. Mr. Speaker, we have successfully, Right Honorable Speaker, President Mahama and the NDC have successfully recapitalized the National Investment Bank by implementing an ambitious and credible plan to return NIB to profitability and sustainability. Mr. Speaker, we have taken the following steps. Right Honorable Speaker, we have injected a total cash of 450 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, we also issued remarkable bonds with face value of 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to the National Investment Bank. Mr. Speaker, we transferred 500 million Government of Ghana shares in the Nestle Ghana Limited to the National Investment Bank. Right Honorable Speaker, these transfers have significantly improved the capital adequacy ratio from negative 53.13% at the end of December 2024 to a positive 23% in May 2025. Mr. Speaker, by taking these major steps, we have preserved depositors' fund valued at 6.4 billion Ghana cedis. We have also saved over 900 direct jobs at the National Investment Banks. Mr. Speaker, we have preserved an indigenous Ghanaian bank. But Mr. Speaker, let me say this. Unlike the previous administration, we chose to spend to save a bank than spend to collapse a bank. Right Honorable Speaker, we have also prepared a forward-looking, overarching restructuring plan for the National Investment Bank to put the bank on a sustainable path of profitability. The plan also aims to enhance board independence and objectivity, strengthen risk management, promote accountability and transparency, prevent insider dominance, and improve strategic decision-making. Mr. Speaker, this plan will, among others, strengthen corporate governance framework and systems, improve enterprise risk management and controls, establish a modern business model, revamp operational strategy, improve financial performance, institute and enhance supervisory measures, and eventually we will list the NIB on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Right Honorable Speaker, NIB now has a total paid up capital of 3.4 billion Ghana cedis and a capital adequacy ratio of 23%. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the President, I want to use this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana and depositors that our indigenous bank, the National Investment Bank, is now prime for business. More importantly, Mr. Speaker, NIB is back. NIB is now liquid. NIB is now safe. NIB is fully capitalized. Mr. Speaker, we therefore encourage all and sundry to do business with the revitalized National Investment Bank, NIB. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to credit ratings. Credit ratings. Mr. Speaker, the progress we are making in our economic reforms and debt restructuring efforts has been recognized internationally. On the 16th of June 2025, Fitch Rating upgraded Ghana's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating to B-, with the stable outlook from restricted default, the first time since 2021. Fitch cited significant exchange rate appreciation, declining debt levels, strong nominal GDP growth, increased reserve accumulation, and normalized relationship with external creditors as key drivers. Right Honorable Speaker, to sustain these gains, we will, among others, do the following. We'll maintain fiscal discipline through continued implementation of prudent policies to promote fiscal and debt sustainability. We will continue the aggressive revenue mobilization by strengthening tax collection systems and broadening the tax base to increase domestic revenue without overburdening the citizens. Mr. Speaker, we will accelerate structural reforms in public financial management, including transparency and accountability measures to improve efficiency and reduce corruption. The Speaker will strengthen monetary policy framework, and the Central Bank will lead this to complement the effort that we are doing. Mr. Speaker, we will diversify the economy through investment in sectors beyond traditional export to reduce the vulnerability to commodity price shocks and continue to maintain strong relationship with our international financial institutions and development partners to support ongoing reforms and assess technical assistance. Mr. Speaker, it's expected that other rating agencies, namely S&P and Moody's, will follow suit, given the remarkable progress we are making in ensuring economic stability and promoting inclusive growth. Right Honorable Speaker, this is just the beginning. We are determined to do better than B-. Ghana indeed deserves better than B-. Right Honorable Speaker, I now take you to fiscal policies and give you an update. Mr. Speaker, I start with VAT reforms. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget statement, we reaffirmed our commitment to the people of Ghana and the business community to undertake comprehensive value-added tax reforms this year. These reforms are aimed at addressing the distortions and cascading effect inherent in the current VAT structure. To support this effort, we also committed to seeking technical assistance from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, and engage the people of Ghana. So, Speaker, I'm pleased to report that we have successfully completed our engagement with the IMF. Currently, the Ghana Revenue Authority, together with the Ministry of Finance, is undertaking a nationwide consultation process to sensitize key players in the trade and business sector on the VAT reform and solicit feedback from them. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance hopes to complete this process by September 2025, prepare a new VAT bill by October 2025, and submit same to Parliament as part of the 2026 budget statement. Mr. Speaker, I would like to reassure the people of Ghana that at the minimum, the following will happen as part of the VAT Act Amendment Bill. Mr. Speaker, COVID levy will be abolished. The effective VAT rate will be reduced. The punitive cascading effect of the GET Fund and NHIS levy will be removed. VAT flat rate will be removed, and a unified VAT rate will be implemented. The VAT registration threshold will be increased to exempt small and micro businesses, and compliance will be improved through public education, awareness creation, and the introduction of fiscal electronic devices will be deployed. So, Speaker, I now take you to expenditure measures as part of the fiscal. Right, Honorable Speaker, as part of the fiscal consolidation strategy, we have taken measures to sanitize public sector payroll and rid it of ghost names. Subsequently, we engaged the Ghana Audit Service to undertake a nationwide payroll audit across all 16 regions of the country. The Speaker, the Audit Service has completed 91% of the payroll audit. So far, the Audit Service has not been able to identify or verify over 14,000 workers. Mr. Speaker, again, they have identified 53,311 separated staff on the payroll. Mr. Speaker, separated staffs are staff who are either on retirement, reassigned, terminated, or are on leave without pay or deceased and yet remain on government payroll. Mr. Speaker, the Audit Service expects to recover a minimum of 150.4 million of unearned salary from the separated staff over 2023 and 2024 period alone. Right, Honorable Speaker, going forward, we will enforce the monthly payroll validation process and strictly apply sanctions to all who validate ghosts for payment of salaries. Mr. Speaker, let me use this opportunity to strongly caution those who validate ghosts across the public service that they will be personally liable for the loss of public fund. Mr. Speaker, let me repeat. Let me use this opportunity to strongly caution those who validate ghosts across the public service that they will be personally liable for the loss of public funds. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance will continue to monitor this payroll and put in place measures to prevent ghosts on the payroll going forward. Mr. Speaker, I now give you an update on the arrears payable audit that we did. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget, we announced the launch of an audit of arrears and payables as at end December 2024. The Ghana Audit Service partnered with EY and PwC to undertake this audit. Mr. Speaker, the Audit Service was tasked to audit and validate 68.7 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, 68.7 billion Ghana cedis. So far, Mr. Speaker, 87% of the audit has been completed. Results show so far are as follows. Mr. Speaker, a total of 28.3 billion Ghana cedis has been validated for payment. Mr. Speaker, 27.3 billion is pending validation as we speak. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 3.6 billion Ghana cedis has been rejected because of errors, duplication, and non-compliance with PFM and procurement rules. The Speaker, of this amount, 562.6 million is without adequate supporting document. So, Speaker, the outcome of this audit will blow your mind. Blow your mind. So, Speaker, the audit is expected to be completed by end of August 2025. Once finalized, we will update the House on the findings and outcomes. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to update on the IMF program. Update on the IMF program. Right, Honorable Speaker, Ghana remains on track on the implementation of the IMF program. A staff level agreement was reached during the fourth review mission in April 2025, and we received executive board approval on the 7th of July 2025. This unlocked $367 million disbursement, bringing the total disbursement under this program to $2.3 billion. The fifth review, which is scheduled for September 2025, will be based on June 2025 data. Mr. Speaker, I'm comfortable that Ghana is on course to achieve most of the targets for the fifth review. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to public debt development. Public debt development. Right Honorable Speaker, our commitment to fiscal discipline, through prudent debt management and exchange rate appreciation has resulted in a significant improvement in Ghana's debt profile. Public debt reduced from 726.7 billion as at end December 2024 to 613 billion as at end June 2025. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's public debt reduced by 113.7 billion Ghana cedis in 6 months. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in Ghana's history, there is a negative 15.6% rate of debt accumulation. Right Honorable Speaker, Ghana's public debt to GDP ratio as at end June 2025 was 43.8% from the 61.8% of end December 2024. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's public debt as a percentage of GDP reduced by 18% of GDP in the last 6 months. Ghana's foreign debt as a percentage of total public debt declined from 57.4% as at end December 2024 to 49% by end June 2025. Mr. Speaker, this has significantly improved Ghana's debt sustainability. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to update on debt restructuring. Update on debt restructuring. Right Honorable Speaker, government remains committed to restructuring our bilateral and commercial debt under the G20 Common Framework. On the 24th of June 2025, the House approved an indicative terms of the Memorandum of Understanding between Ghana and Official Creditors Committee. On behalf of His Excellency the President, I wish to thank this House for swift action which has enabled Ghana to begin negotiation for the signing of bilateral agreement with each of the creditor countries. We are ready to sign the agreement with 2 countries as at tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, it is expected that 4 agreements will be signed by close of tomorrow. First, we'll sign with France, and the second will sign with another country yet to be confirmed. Mr. Speaker, on the commercial debt restructuring, we have signed non-disclosure agreement, NDAs, with some commercial lenders, in line with the government's strong commitment to honoring its debt obligation. We have made 2 debt service payments of about $700 million to our Eurobond holders. Mr. Speaker, on the domestic front, government continues to meet its commitment towards the domestic bondholders. For the first time, for the first half of 2025, a total of 9.8 billion Ghana cedis was paid to coupons to DDEP bondholders, of which 3.6 billion Ghana cedis was capitalized. Right Honorable Speaker, for non-tendered bondholders, government paid a total of 1.1 billion Ghana cedis. This was the outstanding debt service as at 2024. Mr. Speaker, for the second half of 2025, an amount of 10.2 billion Ghana cedis is due as coupon payment on the DDEP bonds and 724.1 million as debt service for the non-tendered bondholders. It is important to know that government remains committed to honoring its debt service obligation, and therefore we have made sufficient preparation towards the settlement of this debt, and bondholders should not worry, this amount will be paid in due course. Mr. Speaker, priority project under the restructured bilateral debt. Following Ghana's default on its external debt service obligation on the 19th December 2022, creditors halted disbursement of 55 bilateral projects. This resulted in several uncompleted projects dotted across the country, with a massive $3 billion US in undisbursed loans. The IMF and Official Creditors Committee annual disbursement ceiling of 250 million for official creditors loan implies that it will take 12 good years to fully draw down on the undisbursed loans. Under the MOU of the Official Creditors Committee, the government of Ghana was required to submit a priority list to accommodate the 250 million annual disbursement ceiling. Right, Honorable Speaker. During the presentation of the 2025 budget and economic policy of government, I informed this House that we will engage to resolve this challenge. Following the extensive engagement, government has submitted a priority list of 24 projects to the OCC and the IMF. This is expected to trigger resumption of disbursement for projects on the priority list upon the signing of bilateral agreement between Ghana and the creditor countries. We aim to ensure that all the priority projects are completed and commissioned by end 2028. Mr. Speaker, the priority projects are as follows. We are going to build a new bridge across the Volta River at Volivo. Mr. Speaker, the reconstruction of Tema Aflawo Road project, phase 1. Tema motorway runabout through Ashiaman runabout to Atimpoku. The construction of 14 pedestrian bridges, Kumasi roads and drainage extension. Mr. Speaker, Power Grant interchange and the secondary Takrady Township Road, phase 1. Rehabilitation of Domi Kitasi Road, Obichebi Lamte interchange, phase 2. Bogatanga Boko Pomakrom Road, PTC runabout interchange project at Takrady. Construction of drinking water facilities in Wenchi. Secondary Takrady water supply. Modernization of Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital. Construction of central medical stores in Tema. Efia Nkwanta Regional Hospital in Takrady. Bogatanga Regional Hospital. Establishment of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development at Bonsu. Establishment of 9 state-of-the-art technical and vocational education training center. And, Mr. Speaker, integrated e-learning laboratories in senior high schools. Mr. Speaker, that's not all. The expansion and development of existing senior high schools, renewable energy program, pilot photovoltaic system, Mr. Speaker, the renewable energy and energy efficiency program, and the construction of Takrady Market. Mr. Speaker, finally, the Kumasi Central Market, phase 2. Mr. Speaker, the main criterion for the selection of this project was closeness to completion. As a result, projects which were over 70% complete were given priority. The resumption of disbursement for the project and its associated debt service are fully in line with our commitment under the bilateral debt restructuring and IMF program. Right, Honorable Speaker, there's no room for an increase in scope for any of the projects on the priority list as agreed upon at the IMF and the OCC. Implementing agencies must take note and comply accordingly. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, there is no room for any increase in scope for work for any of the projects on the priority list agreed upon with the IMF and the Official Creditors Committee. Implementing agencies must take note and comply accordingly. Mr. Speaker, it has come to the attention of the Ministry of Finance that a number of contractors implementing some of these 55 stalled projects have drawn down on the loans with no work done to match the amount drawn down. Mr. Speaker, sadly, it has come to the attention of the Ministry of Finance that a number of contractors implementing some of these 55 projects have drawn down on the loans with no work done to match the amount drawn down. Again, some contractors have submitted additional costs in excess of what Parliament approved. The Ministry of Finance has accordingly commissioned a forensic audit into this project. Mr. Speaker, we will apprise the House when this audit is completed. And Mr. Speaker, for emphasis, the Auditor General is the one doing this forensic audit in partnership with some of the Big Four. Update on sinking fund. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget statement, government announced that it will commence the operationalization of Section 37 to 44 of the Public Financial Management Act, Act 921, as amended, to build sufficient buffers in the sinking fund for prompt redemption of specified loans obligations of government. Mr. Speaker, government has set up a CD sinking fund account and US dollar sinking fund account. Beginning August 2025, the Ministry of Finance will commence the building of cash buffers to support the repayment of Ghana's domestic debt service obligation relating to the domestic debt exchange program bonds, which will fall due in the year 2027, 2028, and even 2026. Mr. Speaker, the CD sinking fund will specifically target the redemption and debt service harms in 2026 of 20 billion US dollars, Ghana cedis, for the year 2026, 50.3 billion Ghana cedis for the year 2027, and 45.75 billion Ghana cedis for the year 2025. Similarly, the US dollar sinking fund account will also target Eurobond redemption, which will fall due from 2026 of 1.45 billion US dollars, 1.17 billion US dollars in 2027, and 1.14 billion US dollars in the year 2028. Mr. Speaker, the implementation of the sinking fund will provide a reliable buffers that ensures timely and predictable redemption of designated public debt obligation. This structured approach to debt service will enhance investor confidence and contribute to long-term debt sustainability of our dear country. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to Government of Ghana's liability management operations. Mr. Speaker, government has begun an implementation of an effective and efficient liability management program to reduce embedded risk on debt portfolio. Our liability management operation will, 1, reduce debt service costs and mitigate refinancing or rollover risk, extend maturities to alleviate near-term financing pressures. So, Speaker, to optimize the debt portfolio by rebalancing the mix of short-term versus long-term instruments and strengthen market confidence. Under our liability management operations, Mr. Speaker, we will analyze the domestic bond market to assess suitability for bonds buybacks. We will carefully sequence issuance of benchmark securities and prioritize longer dated tenor to establish a stable yield curve. Mr. Speaker, I take you to primary dealers and bond market specialist system as we inherited. Mr. Speaker, our debt management strategy is to use treasury bills for cash management purposes only. We intend to reopen the domestic bond market to finance the budget deficit. The reopening of the domestic bond market will aim at creating a more competitive primary market that can deliver the volume and pricing to enable the government lower its borrowing cost. Mr. Speaker, beginning August 2025, we will commence the selection of new book runners to assist government in the reopening of the domestic bond market. Mr. Speaker, for emphasis, beginning 2025 August, the government of Ghana will commence the selection of new book runners to assist government in the reopening of the domestic bond market. Mr. Speaker, the selection of book runners will focus on banks and investment dealers with the ability to achieve a wider market distribution and advice on pricing and structuring. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to revise macroeconomic framework. Mr. Speaker, macroeconomic target. Economic development in the first half of the year do not warrant a revision to the macroeconomic target and the appropriations bill. Mr. Speaker, I am not asking for additional money from the Appropriations Act. We maintain the following macroeconomic target for 2025. 1, overall GDP growth at least 4.0%. At least. Non-oil GDP growth of at least 4.8%. End-year inflation rate of 11.9%. Primary balance on commitment basis at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP. And gross international reserves covering not less than 3 months of import. Mr. Speaker, although we have made significant progress, we are cautiously optimistic. Right Honorable Speaker, despite maintaining our macroeconomic target for 2025, including the primary balance on commitment basis of a surplus of 1.5% of GDP. We are revising both revenue and expenditure projections to reflect the impact of the additional revenue from the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Act 2025, Act 1141. Revisions to revenue. Right, Honorable Speaker. As a result, total revenue and grant has been revised upwards from the 2025 budget target of 227.1 billion to 229.9 billion, or from 16.2% of GDP to 16.4% of GDP. This represents a nominal increase of 1.3%. Mr. Speaker, the additional revenue of 2.9 billion Ghana cedis will come from the increase in revenues from the amendment to the Energy Sector Levies Act. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to revisions to expenditures. Mr. Speaker, total expenditure on commitment basis has been revised downwards from 269.5 billion from the original budget projection of 270.9 billion Ghana cedis. However, primary expenditures has been revised upwards to 209.6 billion from the original budget projection of 206.8 billion Ghana cedis. This upward adjustment reflects an increase in the allocation to support energy sector payment. Mr. Speaker, interest payments have been revised downwards by 4.3 billion Ghana cedis from the original budget projection of 64.1 billion to 59.9 billion cedis. Right, Honorable Speaker, domestic interest has been revised downwards by 5.1 billion Ghana cedis, mainly on account of gains from the reduction in the Treasury bill rate as a result of the implementation of our prudent debt management policies. However, external interest payments have been revised upwards by 795 million to make additional provision for debt service due on post-cut-off date disbursement made by our bilateral creditors since 2023. Mr. Speaker, energy sector payments have also been revised upwards by 2.9 billion Ghana cedis to provision for fuel purchases for power generation. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to overall balance and financing. Right, Honorable Speaker, notwithstanding the revisions to revenue and expenditure, the primary balance on commitment basis remains unchanged at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP. Based on the revisions to revenue and expenditure, the following fiscal balance on cash basis improves from a deficit of 4.1% of GDP to 3.8% of GDP. I mean the fiscal balance. The overall fiscal balance on commitment basis improves from a deficit of 3.1% to 2.8%, and the projected annual borrowing needs of government reduced by 4.3 billion Ghana cedis. Simple put, we will be borrowing less by 4.3 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, risk to 2025 budget, risk to the 2025 fiscal framework. Mr. Speaker, despite the robust fiscal performance, there are some underlying risks which pose a threat to the 2025 fiscal framework. The risks are as follows: shortfalls in customs revenue, smuggling of marine gas oil, mounting wage pressures, and pricing and award of contract in foreign currency. The Speaker, I'll take them one by one. Customs revenue. Right, Honorable Speaker, customs revenue recorded a significant shortfall of 1.6 billion, even though the overall revenue is doing well, representing 12.7% reduction from the first half of 2025. This performance is attributed to systemic revenue leakage at key customs collection points, particularly the Tema port and the smuggling of goods across our land borders. Mr. Speaker, these developments pose risk to the attainment of our revenue target for the year 2025. To mitigate these risks, government is implementing the following measures to address the existing operational challenges to safeguard revenue. 1. We will adopt the use of artificial intelligence, AI, to minimize human interference in revenue assessment, supporting the validation of the country of origin, as well as the accuracy of classification and valuation of imported goods. Mr. Speaker, we are rolling out advanced cargo information system to ensure that the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, GPHA, and the Ghana Revenue Authority, the GRA, receives comprehensive shipment detail at least 24 hours prior to vessel departure from the port of origin. Mr. Speaker, this will enable pre-arrival risk assessment, reduce the need for documentation amendment, and facilitate more accurate and timely duty assessment. We will also be implementing a robust anti-smuggling surveillance program targeting both inland and maritime borders. And to those at Sankase, we are coming after you. Mr. Speaker, reviewing the institutional setup of Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, including staff mobility. Mr. Speaker, let me repeat this. We will be reviewing the institutional setup of Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, including staff mobility, to facilitate the decentralization of customs operations. Mr. Speaker, operational risk assessment to enhance transparency and accountability of staff will be enhanced. Now I will take you to the smuggling of marine gas oil, MGO. Right Honorable Speaker, tax exemptions on marine gas oil was introduced to support non-artisanal fishing fleet operating from Ghana. Over the years, the tax exemptions have created incentive to abuse and smuggling of MGO onto the open market, resulting in revenue losses estimated at nearly $500 million Ghana cedis every year. The government will withdraw the tax exemption to curb smuggling and stem the erosion of tax revenue, thereby reducing the fiscal risk to the 2025 budget. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to wages and salary, which happens to be the third risk to the budget. Right Honorable Speaker, we have seen some significant pressures on the compensation budget for the first half of 2025, mainly emanating from wages and salaries. Wages and salaries exceeded the target by 1.3 billion Ghana cedis for the first 6 months of the year. Mr. Speaker, the wage pressures were largely driven by last-minute recruitment undertaken by the previous MPP administration in the last quarter of 2024, especially in the areas of education, health, and security sector. Mr. Speaker, let me repeat. The wage pressures we are largely seeing are driven by the last-minute recruitment undertaken by the previous government in the last quarter of 2024, especially in areas of education, health, and the security sector. In addition, ad hoc reviews of conditions of service undertaken in previous years have distorted the single spine pay policy and further burdened the public wage. Mr. Speaker, the government is implementing the following measures to address this challenge. Number 1, we'll conduct regular nationwide staff payroll audit to sanitize the payroll. Mr. Speaker, we'll be realigning all staff from overstaffed areas and defunct MDAs to areas with critical staffing needs. Right Honorable Speaker, we'll finalize the process for the establishment of the Independent Emolument Committee as part of the broader effort to reform and reset public sector pay. And finally, we will issue an executive directive mandating all MDAs to seek approval from the Minister of Finance or the Ministry of Finance before making any commitment with financial implications on the payroll. Mr. Speaker, pricing and award of contract in foreign currency. Pricing and award of contract in foreign currency. Mr. Speaker, pricing of goods and services and award of contract in foreign currency pose significant risk to fiscal management, with severe implications for the stability of our Ghana city. Unfortunately, foreign currencies are becoming the means of transacting business in Ghana. This trend, if not checked, will erode the confidence in our currency, drive inflation, and result in the loss of value in the symbol of our sovereignty. Mr. Speaker, to curb this, To curb this unfortunate development, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has directed that beginning today, 24th of July 2025, no contract awarded by government, irrespective of source of fund, should be denominated in foreign currency. Right, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker. To curb this unfortunate development, President John Dramani Mahama has directed that beginning today, 24th of July 2025, no contract awarded by government, irrespective of source of funding, should be denominated in foreign currency. Mr. Speaker, we also want to use this opportunity to remind the public that per the Foreign Exchange Act 2006, Act 723, companies, institutions, and individuals are prohibited from pricing, advertising, receipting, or making payment for goods and services in foreign currencies in Ghana without prior written approval from the Bank of Ghana. Right, Honorable Speaker, I will take you to key policy initiatives. Mr. Speaker, I now present updates on key policy initiatives outlined in the 2025 budget. Right, Honorable Speaker, since its establishment in April 2025, the Ghana Gold Board has initiated reforms to licensing regime that governs the local gold trading sector and introduced new aggregation system to effectively mop up gold from artisanal small-scale mining sector across the country. These measures have already yielded tangible economic benefits within the short period of operation of the Ghana Gold Board. In the first half of 2025 alone, gold export from the small-scale sector stood at 51.5 tons with an export value of approximately $5 billion. This figure far exceeds the 26.4 tons, which are with an export value of $1.8 billion from the small-scale mining sector over the same period in 2024. Mr. Speaker, simple put, gold export in tons from the small-scale mining sector for the first half of 2025 recorded about 100% increase over what was recorded in the year 2024. Similarly, the value of gold export from small-scale mining increased by about 180% for the first half of 2025 over that of the same period in 2024. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in Ghana's history, gold export from small-scale mining sector have exceeded gold export from large-scale sector. Mr. Speaker, the substantial foreign exchange inflows from the Gold Board operations in the artisanal small-scale mining sector have significantly strengthened our reserves, improved our balance of payment, and provided critical support for the Ghana city. Mr. Speaker, this tells a story of a country which has been denied the full benefit of its gold resources, a story of a country where illegal gold trade and smuggling have been allowed to fester to the detriment of the well-being of the people. Right, Honorable Speaker. On the 8th of July 2025, His Excellency President John Mahama inaugurated a task force to tackle illegal gold trade and smuggling. I also want to use this opportunity as the Sector Minister to reiterate that the government of President Mahama would deal ruthlessly with anyone found engaging in illegal trade and smuggling, as these nation-wrecking activities sabotage the progress of our country. Mr. Speaker, I also want to reiterate the point that no one should come to us and beg because we will not spare you. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program deserves some update. Mr. Speaker, earlier this month, President Mahama officially launched the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program, Ghana's ambitious and integrated strategy to boost production, create sustainable jobs, and modernize our economy. The 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program represents a national reset aimed at reducing import dependence, expanding domestic production, improving market access, and building a competitive, skilled workforce for a dynamic economy. Right, Honorable Speaker, The anchor of the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program is the Volta Economic Corridor, a transformational project to unlock the vast economic and environmental potential of the Volta Lake and its surrounding lands. Mr. Speaker, the Volta Economic Corridor revives and expands on Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's original vision of the Volta project as a hub for agro-industry, trade and transport, now reimagined to fit today's economic reality and regional opportunities. Mr. Speaker, the Volta Economic Corridor will be executed through the following pillars of the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program. Right Honorable Speaker, Grow 24 will irrigate 2 million hectares of farmlands for year-round farming instead of the traditional seasonal farming. Right Honorable Speaker, Make 24 will establish agro-industrial parks for textiles, pharmaceuticals, and food processing. The Speaker, Show 24 will develop tourism clusters and hospitality hubs along the Volta Lake. And Connect 24 will turn the lake into a major inland transport route, cutting haulage costs and linking northern, southern, eastern, and western Ghana. Mr. Speaker, to support this transformative program, the Ministry of Finance will, in the 2026 budget, outline targeted incentives for the Volta Economic Corridor. These measures will be carefully designed to attract private capital, drive enterprise growth, and create decent, well-paying jobs. The Speaker, for emphasis, the Ministry of Finance will, as part of the 2026 budget, outline a targeted incentive for the Volta Economic Corridor. Right Honorable Speaker, the government will only facilitate and not dominate this ambitious growth goal. The Speaker, and I'll take you to the big push. Right Honorable Speaker, as part of the 2025 budget, we announced the commencement of the Big Push program, a flagship initiative of President John Dramani Mahama for massive infrastructure development. Since then, the President has dedicated all Big Push budgetary allocation for the next 2 years, Mr. Speaker, and I mean all Big Push allocation for the next 2 years to improve road infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that Parliament approved that all oil revenue and mineral royalties accrued to the budget were dedicated to the Big Push. As a result, an amount of 13.8 billion Ghana cedis was allocated in the 2025 budget for the Big Push program to be used for road infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Roads and Highways has spent the last 6 months of his time in office touring the whole country to assess firsthand the state of our roads. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Roads and Highways has undertaken studies and prepared comprehensive engineering interventions and cost estimates for roads projects across the country for the Big Push program. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance has since issued commencement authorization for the following road infrastructure projects under the Big Push program. Mr. Speaker, these are the following Big Push projects as approved by the Ministry of Finance. Mr. Speaker, number 1, the construction of a new bridge on the Oti River at Dambai. Number 2, rehabilitation of Wahan Road. 3, upgrading of Tumu Hamile Road. 4, upgrading of Tumu Han Laura Road. 5, reconstruction of Navrongo Tumu Road. 6, rehabilitation of Techiman Nkonsia Wenchi Road. 7, rehabilitation of Wenchi Sola Road. 8, Mr. Speaker, construction of Sunyane Outer Ring Road. Mr. Speaker, the construction of Kumasi Outer Ring Road, Eastern Quadrant. Mr. Speaker, the rehabilitation of Bintri Napanduri Road. Mr. Speaker, the rehabilitation of Dodo Pepeso and Kwanta Road. Rehabilitation of Atimpoku Esukuma Junction Road. Rehabilitation of Esukuma Junction to Enyinawase Road. Right Honorable Speaker, Enyinawase to Ho Titrenu Road. Mr. Speaker, we'll be upgrading the Akosombo Jakiti Kudikope Road. Mr. Speaker, we'll be upgrading Esukuma to Enumbuso to Parliament Road. Mr. Speaker, Adomebre to Akomufre Road. We'll be upgrading Ho to Petoi Road. Mr. Speaker, rehabilitation of Petoi to Afiadenyamepa Road. Mr. Speaker, we'll be rehabilitating Penny to Aflao Road. We will be dualizing Winneba to Mankesim Road. We'll be dualizing Cape Coast to Takrade Road. We'll be rehabilitating Mankesim Ejumako to Aguna Swedro Road. Mr. Speaker, we'll be rehabilitating Tema to Aflao Road. Construction of Dodowa to Afenya Dowenya Road. Right Honorable Speaker, we will be upgrading the Oyibi to Apollonia Afenya Road. Right Honorable Speaker, we'll be constructing the Enchi to Elubo Road. We'll also be constructing the Dadieso to Akontombra Road. We'll be upgrading the Adrefua to Ose Kojokrom Road. And we will be upgrading the Enchi to Kojoru Penchi Road. And finally, Mr. Speaker, we'll be upgrading the Bediako Junction, Camp 15 to Sefi, Adobokrom Road. Mr. Speaker, as part of the Big Push program, we have also selected the following abandoned road project for which no dedicated funding was allocated for by the previous administration to be included into the Big Push program. Mr. Speaker, the project are as follows: upgrading of Kasua to Winneba Road, rehabilitation of Ofanko to Insawam Road, dual carriage. Right Honorable Speaker, dualization of Takrade to Aguna Junction Road. Mr. Speaker, the construction of Swami Interchange and local roads. Mr. Speaker, we'll also be constructing the National Route 18 from Wa to Han Road. And we'll be upgrading the Tumu to Chichiliga to Navrongo, including the construction of 36-meter span reinforced concrete over the Kenyibi River and 24-meter span reinforced concrete over the Bichirunu River. Right Honorable Speaker, we will be reconstructing the Navrongo to Sandema Road. Mr. Speaker, we will be rehabilitating the Tepa to Gosu Road, rehabilitating the Hohoi to Jasikan Road, and we will be rehabilitating Nkwanta to Oti Damanko Road. We will be reconstructing the Have to Hohoi Road, and we will dualize the Adenta Dodowa Road. And Mr. Speaker, to conclude, we will reconstruct the Jenejene to Sampa Road. Right Honorable Speaker, in line with Section 33 of the Public Financial Management Act, and as part of this media fiscal review of the 2025 budget statement and economic policy, I am seeking approval for these multi-year commitments. Mr. Speaker, government has also initiated comprehensive feasibility studies for 4 projects which are currently at various stages of preparation, ensuring detailed assessment of their technical, economic, and environmental viability. Mr. Speaker, the projects are as follows. Project number 1, Accra-Kumasi Expressway on a completely new alignment. Mr. Speaker, Accra Outer Ring Road, Kumasi Outer Ring Road, and Adoso Echi Amanfo Bridge to connect the Afram Prince area. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to reorganization of the Ghana Road Fund. Right Honorable Speaker, this is not all. The government of President John Mahama has also taken a decision to remodel the Ghana Road Fund and refocus it towards road maintenance. As part of this media review, and on behalf of the government, the Minister for Roads and Highways will be laying before this House a new road maintenance trust fund bill. When approved, the Road Maintenance Trust Fund Bill will replace the Ghana Road Fund. Mr. Speaker, the Road Maintenance Trust Fund will, among others, provide for a new governance architecture, provide a formula for a fairer allocation of resources, and introduce more transparency in the utilization of road fund levy and others. Mr. Speaker, government has identified 166 constituencies in dire need of road infrastructure. Right, Honorable Speaker, the government has identified 166 constituencies in dire need of road infrastructure. In response, we have programmed to rehabilitate 10 kilometers of roads annually in each of these 166 constituencies across the country. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
Accra FM.
Right, Honorable Speaker. The President Mahama administration has identified 166 constituencies in dire need of road infrastructure. In response, we have programmed to rehabilitate 10 kilometers of roads annually in each of these constituencies. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, this translates to about 5,000 kilometers of road to be constructed in these 166 constituencies in dire need of road infrastructure over the next 3 years. Mr. Speaker, simple put, over the next 3 years, we'll be building 5,000 kilometers of road in these 166 constituencies. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to inform this House that we have paid all nursing and teacher training allowances from January to June 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, from the end of this month, July 2025, all nursing and teacher trainees will receive their allowances promptly at the end of every single month. Mr. Speaker, I'll now move to the conclusion. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker. I conclude this media fiscal policy review.
We have other business. It's not only this one. Please.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I conclude this media fiscal review with renewed hope and optimism. The last 6 months have revealed our enduring spirit, what we can collectively achieve, and our potential to rise from the brink. Upon assumption of office in January this year, we were handed an economy in deep distress, a country with dispirited citizens. Trust and faith in our leaders were at all-time low. The fundamentals were not only weak, but broken. Mr. Speaker, and the misery and suffering were palpable. Mr. Speaker, in just 6 months, In fact, under 200 days, under the decisive leadership of President John Mahama, we have begun to change the story. Mr. Speaker, President Mahama's economic management model is working. The turnaround is in sight. Mr. Speaker, the signs of economic progress are visible and measurable. Mr. Speaker, first quarter economic growth is at 5-year high. Our GDP, our debt to GDP ratio is at a 5-year low. Mr. Speaker, inflation has declined to a 4-year low. Right Honorable Speaker, our credit rating has improved from junk to B- with stable outlook, a 2-notch upgrade and a 4-year high. Right Honorable Speaker, we have almost reversed all the cedi depreciations in the years 2022, 2023 and 2024, with no cedi depreciation in the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, the level of the appreciation of the Ghana cedi has never happened in the history of our nation. Prices of petrol and diesel at the pump have reduced significantly to the benefit of consumers. And the price of sugar, rice and cooking oil at a 4-year low. Mr. Speaker, the price of 25 kilogram bag of Royal Aroma rice, which used to be sold at 650 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 356 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the price of a lonka of sugar, which used to be sold for 50 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 44 Ghana cedis. Right Honorable Speaker, price of 25 liter of cooking oil, which used to be sold for 980 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 640 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, price of konkonte, 1 sack. Price of konkonte, 1 sack, which used to be sold for 1,200 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 950 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, a ton of iron rods, which used to be sold at 9,400 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold at 7,500 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, onions. 1 paint bucket, which used to be sold at 120 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 95 Ghana cedis. Right Honorable Speaker, POP cement, which used to be sold for 115 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 90 Ghana cedis. The Speaker, maize, 1 sack, which used to be sold for 1,600 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 1,450. And Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Agriculture has promised that it will go down even more. Mr. Speaker, the price of Yas sanitary pad, which was 25 Ghana cedis in January, is now going for 15 Ghana cedis. 15 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, palm fruit, 1 oloka, which used to be sold for 40 Ghana cedis, is now being sold for 25 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, this is the reset President Mahama promised. This is the reset President Mahama promised. It has been 6 months of hard work. We have lessened the burden on households and businesses. Mr. Speaker, contrary to the perception that we are not spending, we are indeed spending, and spending at the right places. We are making the right investment in the lives of the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, an amount of $700 million US dollars of Eurobond obligations has been paid. An amount of 10 billion to domestic bondholders has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 2.9 billion Ghana cedis to the District Assembly's Common Fund has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 2.7 billion Ghana cedis to the Social Security and National Insurance Trust has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 9.1 billion Ghana cedis to the energy sector for stable power supply has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 5 billion Ghana cedis of arrest has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 4.6 billion to the Ghana Education Trust Fund has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 1 billion Ghana cedis to the free secondary education program has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 4.6 billion Ghana cedis to the National Health Insurance Scheme has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 1.4 billion for the National Health Insurance claims has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 252 million for vaccines and essential medicine has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 72.8 million Ghana cedis as capitation grant has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 895 million to the school feeding program has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 477 million to the LEAP beneficiaries has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 122.8 million for BEC registration has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 300 million to the no-fee stress policy has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 191.7 million Ghana cedis as teacher training allowances has been paid. Mr. Speaker, again, an amount of 462.6 million as nursing training allowances has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 25 million as assembly members allowance has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 21 million Ghana cedis for National Apprenticeship Program has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 34.5 million to the Jumawa program has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 2 billion Ghana cedis as goods and service to run effective and efficient government ministries, departments and agencies has been paid. And Mr. Speaker, as we speak, an amount of 2 billion Ghana cedis to save the National Investment Bank has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker, non-interest expenditure of 84.2 billion Ghana cedis has been paid. So far, Mr. Speaker, from January to June, total cash of 114.5 billion has been paid from the consolidated fund. Mr. Speaker, we are spending and spending at the right places. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are spending at the right places. We are touching lives and we are changing our country. Mr. Speaker, this is not all. We have also worked to improve the fiscal situation. We have restored fiscal discipline. We have implemented appropriate policies to reduce interest rates significantly, thereby reducing the cost of borrowing. So, Speaker, we have saved on domestic interest payment following the implementation of our prudent debt management policies. Mr. Speaker, there is still more work to be done. President Mahama is determined to deliver. Inshallah, His Excellency John Mahama will deliver. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are not out of the woods yet. It will be premature to make that pronouncement. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, we are not out of the woods yet. It will be premature to make that pronouncement. But the good news is that today, hope is in sight. And we are determined to navigate the country out of the terrible storm we inherited from President Akufo-Addo and Alhaji Bawumia. Mr. Speaker, we need the support of the people of Ghana to weather this storm. Mr. Speaker, to the farmer in Yendi and to the fisher folk in Sekendi and Shama, to the nurse in Sunyane and the teacher in Enumbuso and Ejumako, to the Ghanaian youth seeking decent work, to the elderly seeking better pension. We see you, we hear you, and we are working for you. John Mahama will work for you. the NDC will work for you. The gains we have made so far are the results of your sacrifice, your patience, our belief that change was not only necessary but crucial. Mr. Speaker, this media review is not just a technical report. It is the story of the Ghanaian people, a story of a nation that refused to give up, a story that echoes Nelson Mandela. It always seems impossible until it is done. Mr. Speaker, this is a story that echoes Nelson Mandela's quote, that it always seems impossible until it is done. Mr. Speaker, even as we look back at how far we have come, we are also looking ahead. This is the essence of John Mahama's leadership. He is focused and he will deliver. President Mahama is honoring his promise to the Ghanaian people. The second half of 2025 promises to be even better. We expect inflation to continue its downward trend and reach our 2025 target ahead of schedule. We will sustain the stability of the city through disciplined spending, targeted investment, and continued reserve accumulation. Growth will be further boosted by strategic initiatives, including the 24-hour economy program, the Big Push infrastructure program, and the revitalization of agriculture through the Agriculture for Economic Transformation program. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that during my vetting, when asked what I would like to be remembered as a minister, Mr. Speaker, I stated that I would like to be remembered for stabilizing the exchange rate, ensuring low prices, and creating jobs. Right, Honorable Speaker, ahead of the presentation of the 2025 budget, my engagement with the traders at the Mokola market revealed that prices and exchange rate stability were the overriding concerns of the business community. Mr. Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to thank our cherished traders at Mokola for their valuable insight. Mr. Speaker, the update on the cedi and the prices, as said earlier, clearly shows that we have taken deliberate and decisive action to ensure that the challenges with exchange rate and prices are tackled head-on. Mr. Speaker, let me assure all Ghanaians that the stability in the exchange rate and the lower prices we are experiencing will be sustained. Ghanaians, Mr. Speaker, the government has worked hard to bring down and stabilize the exchange rate with deliberate policies. It is now time for businesses to bring down prices to reflect the new economic reality. We understand businesses went through some sacrifices during the turbulent economic challenges, but so did the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, it is now time for prices to come down to reflect the new realities for the benefit of all Ghanaians and not only for the traders. Mr. Speaker, as we look forward, more jobs will be created, confidence will be deepened, and the Ghanaian economy will stand tall again, not just in the sub-region, but on the global stage. But to do this, Mr. Speaker, we must stay united as a people and eschew divisiveness. We must continue to have faith in our country, Ghana. Mr. Speaker, most importantly, we must have faith in our currency, the Ghana cedi. For 60 years through cycles of inflation, devaluation, redenomination, and recovery, the cedi has remained the symbol of our sovereignty. It has endured, it has evolved, and it remains the only legal tender of our republic. Let us protect it. Let us trade with our currency, the Ghana cedi. Let us talk about it with pride, not as a burden, but as a badge of economic independence. Mr. Speaker, I believe in the cedi. Fellow countrymen and women, I believe in the cedi. You also have to believe in the cedi. Mr. Speaker, to all of us who have the privilege to serve in the leadership of our nation, let us unite and do this for ourselves, for our children, and for our children's children. It is our collective responsibility to reset our country. Ghana needs us more than ever. Our people needs us. Mr. Speaker, I cannot conclude this address without expressing deep gratitude to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, whose unwavering dedication and vision continue to anchor this national reset. The Speaker, on a personal level, I thank His Excellency the President, because without him, this work couldn't have been achieved. So, Speaker, he is indeed the anchor towards our economic reset. Right Honorable Speaker, and to you, Father, Mr. Speaker, Alban, Sumana, Kingsford, Bagman, our father, and members of Parliament and the Parliamentary Service, I'm extremely grateful. Mr. Speaker, indeed, Aban Papaba. Mr. Speaker, Aban Papaba. No wonder my brother Kwabena and his team had to flee the chamber. I salute Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Accra FM. Wabatele Accra FM. Yeah, mommy.
100. Honorable members, Kenyo Deni Uyebo Ato Kenyo Deni Uyebo Ato Kenyo Deni Uyebo Ato forcing. Honorable members, in line with the practice and convention of the House, I refer the media fiscal policy review of the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for the 2025 financial year to the budget committee to be assisted by the leadership of the Committee on Finance for deliberation and report to the House. When it comes to the House, we will hear from the chairman of the committee. It will be opened for debate. This is a motion, it's not a statement. And so members will have the opportunity to debate the media fiscal policy review of the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana. So I intend to permit the minister
A bestie who brings the hottest blockbusters to movie nights, keeps the kids smiling with the funniest cartoons, and never misses a goal. That's GoTV Stream. Your soapies sorted. Your football live. Plus cartoons, movies, and more. No extra costs. Just internet and an active GoTV subscription. Your shows, your vibes, your anytime, anywhere bestie. GoTV Stream. Download it today.
Yes, Sasinabo, yes, Saba.
Yes, Saba.
Afizi, Obiaba Tomato Assassin. And Sasa, nobody the form. Anu na Benji Estate and Investment Limited. Okofaba. Was a Bragana for Nara. And Sasa, Langat Sam for Sambia Renew. Atoya. Within 2 weeks. Naya Young Pepes near Zama. Sasa Papa Gugu Baby today. Metropoli, Apo City.
Central University near B5 off the Flower Road. Shy Hills. Afienyato Estate.
And Nambiambia Bebre. In Sunan Kania. Are you available? Yes, Assassin. Oil litigation free and secure. At Tonsasana, not 2 weeks. Ya won't clatter near Zamo.
Aha, Miatova, Mr. Kokwe, Nelani Banyu Dinner.
Mr. Speaker, I now take you to interest rate movement. Interest rates have declined, reflecting improved macro conditions. Mr. Speaker, the 91-day Treasury bill rate has reduced by 13 percentage points from 27.7% in December 2024 to 14.7% in June 2025. Similar trends were observed in the 182 days and the 364 days bills. The 182-day Treasury bill rate decreased by 13.1 percentage points from 28.43 in December 2024 to 15.34 in June 2025. The 364 Treasury bill rate also declined by 14.19 percentage points from 29.95 in December 2025 to 15.76 in June 2025. The average lending rate decreased from 30.3% in December 2024 to 27% in June 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Ghana reference rate fell from 29.31% in December 2024 to 24.0% in June 2025. So, Speaker, things can only get better. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have indeed saved 4.9 billion Ghana cedis on domestic interest payment as at end June 2025 due to our prudent debt management policy. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to fiscal performance. Mr. Speaker, our fiscal discipline has yielded the needed and remarkable results so far. We have delivered below target deficit on both cash and commitment basis. We have delivered a greater than anticipated primary surplus, the core fiscal anchor. We have delivered a strong expenditure and commitment control. We have delivered robust tax revenue performance. Mr. Speaker, provisional data shows that the primary balance on commitment basis, the fiscal anchor, as at end June 2025, recorded a surplus of 1.1% of GDP, surpassing the target surplus of 0.4% of GDP set for the same period. The overall fiscal deficit on commitment basis was a deficit of 0.7% of GDP, better than the deficit target of 1.8% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, on cash basis, the overall balance recorded a deficit of 1.1% of GDP. This is significantly better than the projected deficit target of 2.4% of GDP. The primary balance on cash basis turned surplus at 0.7% of GDP against a projected deficit of 0.2% of GDP. The non-oil tax revenue, net, exceeded target by about 787 million Ghana cedis. Corporate income tax exceeded target by 555.3 million, representing 2.9% above target. Mineral royalties exceeded its target by 143 million. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, import duties fell short of target by 1.6 billion. Expenditures were contained at 109.7 billion Ghana cedis, or 7.8% of GDP. This was 14.3% below the program amount of 128 billion, or 9.1% of GDP, reflecting strong expenditure control. Mr. Speaker, primary expenditure on non-interest expenditure on commitment basis amounted to 84.3 billion or 6.0% of GDP. This is an improvement of about 13.3 billion over the target of 97.5 billion, which is 7% of our GDP. Mr. Speaker, interest payment amounted to 25.4 billion, which is 1.8% of GDP. This is below the target of 30.5 billion, which is 2.2% of GDP, and this was mainly due to lower domestic interest payment. Domestic interest payment amounted to 21.6 billion against a target of 26.5 billion, representing a reduction of 4.9 billion Ghana cedis, mainly on account of lower than planned domestic borrowing and the decline in the T-bill rates. Mr. Speaker, external interest payment amounted to 3.8 billion Ghana cedis against a target of 4 billion, due mainly to the appreciation of the Ghana cedis. Other expenditure, mainly comprising energy sector levies, transfers and energy sector payment shortfalls, amounted to 11.4 billion Ghana cedis or 8% of GDP. This was 12.7% below the target of 13.1 or 0.9% of GDP for the same period. Right Honorable Speaker, arrest clearance amounted to 4.8 billion Ghana cedis. It is important to note that there was no build-up in arrest payable during the period under review, signaling strong commitment control and fiscal discipline. Mr. Speaker, we are very different from our friends that decided to flee from this chamber. Mr. Speaker, the deficit was largely financed from domestic sources, with net domestic financing of 13.1 billion, well below the 18.7 billion target. The net foreign financing was 2.8 billion, mostly from the utilization of the 4.5 billion IMF disbursement. So, Speaker, between 1st of January to 6th of January, the IMF disbursement of 4.5 billion was spent before the Mahama administration took office just in 6 days. Mr. Speaker, project loan disbursement was 2.4 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, even though Ghana is relying on the domestic market for financing, we have borrowed less than we planned, signifying strong expenditure control and fiscal discipline. Right Honorable Speaker, this is a strong signal to the investor community and all stakeholders that the needed fiscal consolidation is happening here in Ghana and it will be sustained.
2016, right, Act 921. It was said Ghana a year near Oshaya Koma Bosika so. Isika foto samfo ekomra shebedwam na odi mid-year budget no ekotuja, otherwise fiscal review in particular na eno nam so a finance minister honorable KCL auto forcing akọ parliament na odi eye yakomabo sika akwakotuja. And of course there are plethora of things that he talked about, and Charles McCarthy, Hantino, meaning Kasabibre. Maybe we're going to have our own bite tomorrow. But just a quick one. Back one, a striking Bibre has to do with Enyema Dudua na Wachrese Yatiteso. And Okaya Ekakukunti, and actually how, detailed he wanted to be. Of course, Yakai, one of the finance ministers, under Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, say me kokra buokosra no kachre ye ura kwese boche, may he so rest in perfect peace. And abra ura to person eka kako continue. I was like, I ura kwese boche and obami he talked about PUP cement, GNA, in fact cooking oil and near 950 and about 600 cities. Eka ya can say aroma rice. And 650 and you turn 350. Into about Facebook Live on Accra 100.5 are we featuring some of the things he said. So price of kokonte, for instance, one sack which used to be sold for 1,200 Ghana cedis as a January is now being sold for 950. So we're whooping differentials now El Honum for all of us to see. The equally touch of other project Odiama OCC and IMF for review. So, for instance, new bridge across the Volta River, construction of Tema Aplau Road Project Phase 1, Tema Motorway Runabout, construction of 14 pedestrian bridges, Kumasi roads and drainage extensions, Park Interchange, Secondary, Tekrade, construction of drinking water facilities in Winchi, and a host of others, because Okensen Bebre. And one other areas, if like another area I'll touch it on, has to do with basic fiscal discipline of the country. But said he or they inherited an economy in comatose, Abuba na Ghana Ukra. And some share Ghana football say Umbebuana Ghana see Jina Branino. And Yama Bibre Honomwa Omu a year. And he talked of a lot of a car, 1 by 2 year ometria, whooping of around 11 plus billion Ghana cedis. And we a semwa a year and ura ato forcing edit to ja. He talked of inflation. Obekai said Abra MPP free sono is stood above 23%, and the inflation form he talked about say vetting Adiaba Kwaka was and say he wished to stabilize the city and the city form power. Now, one major thing that featured the big push program. Yabakaya in his first budget arrangement, 13.8 billion cedis. Anna Abayno a year saying the big push project. And for the next 2 to 3 years, near finance minister Chen said ye base can be pudu na yadiaye nyama bebre. So as part of the big push program, they have selected some abandoned road project for which no dedicated funding was allocated by the previous government. So for instance, construction of new bridge on the Oti River, upgrading of Adomi Bridge, rehabilitation of Petoi, Afia Road, dualization of Cape Coast Accra, Intalia. And one thing so many has to do with Accra through Insawam, through Nkoko, Ekusi Kumasi Highway. Okensembe Bray, Kamfa allowances, Ometria, nursing training allowance, and a host of others. Like I said, I will have my official bite tomorrow. Inti enano me demema me guests Omufi Hanum na Omadusum. I see Kwajo Yebua also around. Inti Charles, Mema Wakwaba, you follow through near Honorable Minister Kanye. Yes, he has fulfilled some area of the law. But beyond that, minim ara if your expectations were met or the things now we anticipating a honor no boboso. Let's look at the pros and cons and the other rudiment of it.
Mana to that ko, mama waha. Macha woni wati for ne arefo. Macha production. Macha mpanyifo ameni ombe djuma area we wo studio ha. Ana this is na wo chire mu no. Budget presentation, media budget review. Ede ne keka hu no nyina akoye ritual. Akoye amamre ana amane. Ai da ho a afibia na bribia no esese ye witness. Entino na ye expect say finance minister Kesela to forcing Bibi saw the baby tuja. But mantimian tie fully the statement because almost share 11. What I say? Almost a more year program be movie I make na 11 for more delays is he young kanu kwentre yen benyi for so amon fatam nyejuma. Say net parliament wo an important event like media budget review, there's a amount for and play accordingly. And yet, now I'm my year nephew honor.
And you say, if you want me to refresh your mind on some takeaways, sir.
No, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe so. Maybe the man import duty. Where you feel what is so. then why you have import duty home? We are not hear me because or share your bo say and net Jumadia obedino media budget review no obe working on import duty obe ye hu adwuma so obe demolish no obe readjust no obe ye ne den yo na me fi say ne de ese me tibibi efa ho ano to me nim COVID-19 levy no o say yeboso be ye fi ho anya bia utie no no
abolish it.
It's at 366 pages. Statement I will deliver, paragraphs, no pages. Maybe so. What me say or abolish it.
I think that I saw on their page said COVID-19 said to be abolished.
Will be abolished.
Yes.
It's not has been abolished.
No, so maybe the other underpinnings are also that what they have spent, what they intend to spend to when 2020 the next year's budget will be read. So I'm sure say for the next budget never ban it will capture some of those things finally.
No, but I feel that I am feeling that we should be given the hope. It must be instructive.
No, it
must be direct. It must be confrontational. It must be confrontational. It must be able to tell us.
Yes, yes.
And when got to the next one, the end of the
Oh no, say make reference to
say import duties. And no ne queer. And ne can ho na nema board de Ghana ha. The jitu say dollar na ho de akofoma cedi ne de mu apagya no. And no na affect prices and commodities, services I will mind with me presently. But to sustain it and make it more cheaper. Now I lifted burden on yen to my mufono. Now me feel say import duty no there. Import duty levy no. I know to that go.
Yeah.
Na say to force it didn't boss share so. Now at least what demolition no. To send your year dollar no. And you know, I don't want to hear will again after you have told us in your previous budget they say you would work on it this time. So I say no that was my expectation. These were the two things I was looking out for. Say Omeye Bibiafa import duty.
Okay, so Bozer Kwasi and also COVID tax is removed.
Will remove or is removed because I saw a flyer.
Yeah, because the flyer almost say remove COVID tax.
Will be removed. Will be abolished. I saw a flyer. It says it will be abolished.
Yeah, that's the flyer.
So if it will be abolished, doesn't mean it is abolished. Let's get that.
And then Kwanka.
Okay. Ejina maybe so say.
What is okay?
No. Me I picked it from there.
But
you can say we are on their 20 pages.
But I'm funny say. I'm funny say.
And then we are not saying here.
I'm funny say.
But what point are you making? You are trivializing the matter.
If we can
but JNA is important to somebody. The moment a finance minister goes as low as mentioning JNA, no, that's what they say. Go to the level of everybody. But what is wrong?
When
you never love Kwesiboche. But he's one of the finest finance ministers.
Oh, yeah, Ghana.
By 10%. Kwesiboche was 19 under Rollins in your Gold Coast.
Satmon started being finance minister. How many years?
No, but you shouldn't belittle it. You shouldn't belittle it. Could they allow him?
That is how he
don't worry, move by Mr.
Sana Ofili. I say. Yeah,
any problem.
Any problem. You see, me. What I say. Wamaya Tia says Ghana car yedeno. Na 726.7 billion. Wabombo de tuemu 113.7
the whole rough
billion. Enti aka 613 billion. Wasi Akufo-Addo Enumudi 4.5 billion in 6 days.
How many told you?
January 1st. January 1st to January 6th. Before me concern IMF, sika bi omudi buy omudi sika famuti si dija afa majirimu the bread knife afa majirimu no I call 4.5 billion. It will be too. Now, well, I go for and they just say bizarre to know. See, or see, it has been bro. You see, yes, in all, I think the bus is on course. John Dramani Mahama and the team or more yard there. But yeah, as some one, you become wasem. But for now, you hear a sika omotuebi omotua. I mean, the budget has been paid. Very 5 minutes. Not a year has been paid. It presupposes that now will be intua, not killer intua cano or bottle holes to mean tia, and now twaba are 2 8 Kanufurata Kawa Batuho left and right. Yeah. Now mum, I know too. This wouldn't be complete without at least slashing of import duties.
I'm sure it will feature in November.
What is November?
I didn't hear about that.
November more.
Okay, so let's see this one. VAT reforms. Under the new VAT reforms, COVID-19 levy will be abolished.
So I was
number
right.
2.
No.
Oh, but that's what I also said. I also said will be.
Not you. You read somebody's message
He said it's abolished.
No.
Also will be abolished.
Yeah.
The effective VAT rate will be reduced. The cascading effect of the GET fund and NHIS levies will be removed. VAT flat rate will be removed. Unified VAT rate will be implemented. The VAT registration threshold will be increased to exempt small and micro businesses, and compliance will be improved through public education and the introduction of fiscal electronic devices.
So this is VAT. I am talking about import.
I'm sure the production will work on it as and when it goes on.
Because
please check the imports.
Price number bafo because what to susua sikani nru the bi obeko bia ontimi price no sra na eko so mu yi fi ho a anotu wo de na accident ase no anka what replace bi so what I say you see yan kan yan yintum say cars bob year within some few I think the 2022 thereof and prices of cars skyrocketing a gallop here because those days now craft 50,000 now timinya CRV Honda no Accord no mudi to all of a sudden na atipraga Usain Bolt
okay but I'm sorry let's also establish or say on for instance other taxes and VAT it will be abolished but that will be done after a consultation with IRS in September. So that's the timeline given to it. So let's wait until that time.
You see, I don't want to believe at this point because Atu has done well. So I never be say ba what to be fine trino. What I say, Anka Nanotu can be say all this while no. Then I know yeah. I want your consultation. I feel not going consultation.
He didn't say that.
But that is what you said. You said let's establish also in consultation with IRS.
But that is not to say 1 year consultation before.
But if you are
maybe further engagement to be deepened.
Oh, and don't destroy the case for them.
But you are destroying it for them.
I'm not destroying it because Uber presented by now consultation not far. What does that mean? It negates what you have presented. So it means that you must do consultation before you go out there and speak. You don't speak before you go and do consultation. That is my point. Do you get it? That's my point. All consultation ought to have been done before now. So as I say, 18 years, yeah, bona baso ne ye kase wa $1 siwo na no. Yes, yeah, nkano onti. Nimi ya mon kanchen say Goel. Ghana Oil Company Limited. Goel. Any share for minimum the omoton filling stations. Have you noticed omo prices are different from many other people?
I think it be a 13.
It be a 14.
Meanwhile, the Koto be other places 11.
10 plus. So I don't know what this shelling. I don't know what goil is goiling here. Omo prices are different. Let's to take notice of this thing. Energy, I offended. Goil CEO, Anna MD, Edward Bauer. All man na drink coconut because me feel sanka buy dear and there's no bombo reasonable, but it is not. See why are there so clear mess no, but COVID-19 levy will be abolished there, Mr. Na or abolition and then no China ya only few and then you China ya and yes I promise and
no, I think you should also understand something.
What is there to understand?
He didn't say me bar in a space of 6 months may abolish COVID-19 levy. He said COVID-19 levy will be abolished. We gave them a 4-year mandate.
No.
Hold on.
What it means that you can abolish it on the 5th of December 2028.
No, of course. But it's as if say you want to overrun the government.
Who is overrunning the government?
They inherited a government in comatose. Asem no mo kana na wenti e ka bebrea won beto ye no wenti bi. So if you are finance minister, would you just abolish everything? We just gonna bring. Until you abolish one, you take care of one. After you get different stream of money, you abolish it, you take care of the other one. Don't also forget say any IMF and so on. So the hands of the government is tight.
Wait. Don't let this seem as if say yetiani ekriti as mama ban.
That's what you're doing.
Oh no, I can't ask him. And I mean holding the response, I'm holding him accountable. Is it what is happening? What am I doing?
What did he do?
Is it not Atu who told us after he presented the first budget and said I COVID levy in the media this
obey
you don't even know this one, so
okay, said you abolish Wawanka media budget. He said he will abolish
internet, Yanka will pull these things out for you. Internet is good. I would have pulled these things out for you.
This internet issue, it's worrying.
If it is good,
the last week or two we talked about this internet issue. We're still talking about the same thing.
Internet
a camera no so say yade.
See I can say my yade.
Yeah,
camera. So na munyi mfi ho.
Chance.
What I say? Asema ye kanu. Mano.
It's Senate. Senate bro.
How to ya bro.
See what's management why are they at least put it on the table bobu grey.
Na be new. It's a try na wo de that.
No now he. Camera na leg way.
And budget no go anywhere.
The leg way am market it.
Mano too. Me see Dr. Atuforcing or yeah in the first presentation sir COVID levy do MPPD message against it so we say abolish we you welfare you and where your friend then betting tax
yeah
where you levy
cancel emissions
what an emission quite almost not existing and also
cancel
and I make can almost say existing no so I cancel in the say also or cancel when COVID the near day in fuel
not exist.
Oh, you don't get it.
No, but you don't also say that.
I am paraphrasing what people are saying.
Say it well. Not exist, but Oman Shasi Anji. But what can not exist here?
I am quoting. So don't go accountable. What I'm quoting. obi onum quotations obi quote obi a nyen wise me quote what the MPP have said I did not elicit our response so now minister di ba say by media dear na why bibia fa sa covid levy na make it ye ne be catch rom onyin fi o oyi fi a
Obi after rationalization of the VAT in September.
You see, you can imagine, say, without this, or free, that people feel okay, people feel, say, burden be a few so. And I may say, so we sad in the few. And not to me, a be for import levy, you are, you know, call Chimune 50% what you have for Gua. I know too. Anka, ye, whom better more. And also, I won't dream president. I won't dream about you are surviving. You are a guy on your own. What I say? You become a dogu in no time. That's what I'm saying. I don't know make intensity me. I say me cast it no. But the point is that you see you track and you know news in the church. Into ya na you treat trouble fasono. Then they say a church to know quite straight. Kwai no ehano mu sei bumper ai bumpings wo ntini magreda emeye ni ye ba ye kana mu fi say wrong dada bi o ye de be kana kwa jam enti yes atoa ye bi ye nka se won ye bi wa ye bi ni odi abetu na utia smooth presentation ye on point they get it clarity no wo profuni mu dawo koji easy to read. We share the statement now, easy to read and assimilate. But I'm saying, say, who beside my expectation? My expectation were 2. I don't need 2 no, I can't know baby. My son can ha. Not my need that son son can. Okasari nanka COVID is a thing of the past. Oye nanka import levy utias in the wood the car ba now porter. Nanka. Na je kwa na wo ka se Togo se Nigeria for Nigeria say ye ni se ka nye brand ni edi yo eno na kwa je ka se nye salon ye ukra kago ye kago
ni obi koto Rolls Royce aba no aka se ne bo esi ya ne bo den che Toyota Corolla salon sa no mo reti no 4x4 let's say wan yo 4x4 sa no mo yo mo de ye de car na wo to e no ene ya hwe ho de ayo obi discuss car ba ko pe ye bi almost 4 billion ade wo na wo so wo be so de wo Ghana on fancy form
well that is the issue yen copy enfi neighboring countries ye de na ya na ama the problem aba ene kan anka na airport na egu no so I say ina na amamfo di nema fa Togo amamfo di nema ko Nigeria enti ukotudu a na I spare pass omo fanu cargo di batudu na amamfo akofa edi akwa bosu kan and what have you why because oko temapota no boy din customs for to no mu buni pakum oba omo pe na dimi mass no no wanwa omo pe na ye mass no no tu omo pe na dimi ye sa mass no omo gosuan no wen wakra wa de abano no atra no akondo figures na se kawe see a ton see unso unye manufacturer
sometimes cry utia more than say na the talk
that is a problem and then you are not the manufacturer you not talk at us car me ton say osidabi enye sa na car na ye ton say when I ton ga no are you a seller but the receipt osidabi you still doubt it no
but the question is what sense does it make say me you duty and also say cannibal like
Ghana
what sense does
Ghana sanity obitimi talk at $2,500 Bobie yi no ha otua ne ewo ho
about 40 to 50,000
60,000 70,000 80,000 120,000 odigi car
it's too much
car wa tono bola o car na ya package no accident car wa kofa odi ba na obedru porter wo se da bi car we dey see eji wo see na ye ka say so mo man timi jesa de ni yi anka moto ai moto 20,000 19,000 moto za ayi royal we ni are okada dewi why adentia enti import duties no in levies na dazo and yes ye hu adwuma. Don't forget the President Mahama ekofa baako or the paper bi be kire Ghana for V8 ko Land Cruiser fufuro brand new na taxes was no mo kan no say 23 or say 25 me wa
23 taxes.
Yeah. Now what was he doing then? He was against the number of taxes that he took and near Maso.
What we repeat about 3-4 times.
That is what I am talking about here. And no share your bot and not to force it, we share your bot. Won't remember kind media review budget and try without talking about import duty levies. No, it cannot work.
It will feature in November.
Anka ya anka the hasasa. Cinema ya klafia broche neba. Ya kana ya be feature November. Feed kwa November ya kwa kitwa. Feed kwa November ya kwa kitwa. Enya kwa kitwa until let's be honest with yourself. Yeah, he has done everything he's doing. He's continued to do what he's doing. We appreciate what he's doing, but I think in these areas it is important, it is crucial to our well-being. It is important to our welfare. It is important to our survival. If you must live like Nano Utudaku, a host on Citizen Show, of course, these are some of the things you will need to accentuate your relevance. So I say, no. And you know, it cannot be the case. Say, Obebe cannot what affecting you directly. This one, it affects our very existence. How? Headphone is a show tea. Ye manufacture Ghana ha. If you are broaching a buyer, computers they see what you need if you are broaching and a buyer. Camera namu nibi wo studio hano. If na ebi mayo, then namposo. And eba. Aze, eye ne manufacture na ne bo for ha anka mutimi to bebre. Eye na ne man bo for ana otu nia ope e na obeto. E na yesi, amamfo kra ne man na ne bo for abruchira omudi fiba. Ba bedru ha port levy ni ntinu. Ni aye gin water ma port ho ni ntinu e na man ne man bo aye din. Obi nkasa meboa.
No correct.
E pono so ye dia. Ene ya di concrete gas am so ye dia. Ene ya airport no. Ene se mon arenti na mo ye ne man body. Mo na mato petrol ai ship no mo. Obi timi di car, timi car say car, obi to car ni importation. Ship me or to car na ship ya baga na 55,000.
Yeah.
45,000. But ebe drew ha kwa be first way. Kwanya obe first way. Eno na ye problem. O ka phone kra na ba ni a custom for be ye. E post office. No. Ye nya hu bibi. To the extent say yen to me manufacture or mine we money there. And I know too. We must do something about the import duties.
We will do something about it.
When? Not when our two promise us that in this media review budget or baby.
Atu did not promise you in a media review budget. Stop misquoting him. He promised you, sir, it is an IMF conditionality. So bearing review, it will be abolished. Which part of the previous budget now to read your promise will say media budget will be reviewed, will be
see, when he did this,
he didn't do that. You are putting words in Ato's mouth.
I am not
also abolish it after rationalization with the IMF because it's an IMF conditionality.
Not IMF conditionality. No one I oyi levy fuel.
No.
IMF conditionality no ni one na oyi ni fuel.
No yi ni everyone ma
so what is this over reliance on IMF?
The question is
why are you over reliance on IMF? You cannot use an IMF this thing as
you are just playing the role of an ostrich. Because you know said there is an IMF conditionality.
Which says what?
Unimu ana unim. Ye no mu ni enkita hudie bebre.
And na me bisa now what if you on the IMF conditions new one
because it was an easy way.
No, you see, it is the easy way say.
So COVID, for instance, give us in excess of say 7 billion. I'm just giving an example. Okay, I agree. Say certain things should be taken off, but say, Charles, hold on, Charles, finance minister, you take it off gradually, having replacement because there will always be fiscal shortfalls. It is a who take it offer. Charles, Obaboy Besian Ranegana. So it's being taken gradually. Or promises obey levy emissions levy onye, betting tax onye, and he has also promised say obey betting tax. Only say IMF conditionality. So bearing rationalization to be taken off.
So I would have preferred say Anka obey COVID tax in a few.
Man 4 years mandate. Man 6 months.
4 years. I'm catch you say 4 years. No, January 7th to December 2028. Yes, sir. I mean, fan kosi January mpo. And fan say Anka Ojai na December 7th. Osimayi if you are, will you accept it? Because a 4 years mandate.
I will not accept.
But I say a 4 years mandate. It is within the 4 years. What kind of argument are you advancing? The fact of the matter they say, I know too. COVID in a new view.
COVID
was even.
And they won't follow recent stories.
Recent stories, babe. University of Ghana.
Yes, University of Ghana. It took us COVID.
That's what I will call you. That's your school.
I don't know what has that got to do with
it. Mo motto no. Mo say there. True stance. And I'm saying,
integrity procedure. Proceed with integrity.
As chebolam. Integrity baku class in hobby. Man, let me tell you why. Mo be katre yen say Volta Hall for a celebration. I'm a COVID aside Trinity at University of Ghana meboa. Entimu banning activities bia including grassroots SRC activities. True or false?
True.
I know too.
That's why Ansah now.
The me person now mami mwaye.
Menya jumo legon. Menya jumo.
And I know 19 v. Now be before you no more.
Why?
I know too.
No more legon.
No more than ho.
Conference.
Omo de COVID ni chi omo anye yi. Integrity. Ewo infa. Ni guasefo. You see, and time say COVID ni ho no. Eye na COVID wo ho a, and can be science. This a COVID ni wa. Na no to those days are COVID and ke ba mo studio hai. Mo ka ni say sanitizer. Ka be 4 and they see her. And could be a nose mask, true or false. And they be ni ho. You want to ye. And then they said that's what Tianka. Why are we still praying? Oh, ye and uncle ye and few. So because COVID does not exist, you COVID that few. And under a mission no and we walk under it will make sense. Then you can tell me, say, but since COVID in new what dear. That's what they me. I don't want it to sit in our books. It should be cleared as soon as possible. November now. Oh, we cannot wait.
Okay, but let me read this.
We can't wait.
Dr. Forcing provided a timeline for scrapping the COVID-19 health recovery levy during the 2025 mid-year budget review. That is today, July 24, 2025. He announced that the levy would be abolished through a new value-added tax amendment bill, with a draft bill expected to be prepared by October 2025 for submission as part of the 2026 budget statement. So that's what I'm telling you, sir. It will feature in the November budget against 2026.
Nana Otudaku, you are fixated.
I'm following you,
with
Charles.
What you want to say. I am telling you, sir, before today, na Dr. Tufo Samaya Tiasie, who say Oko presented budget in the who's granting interviews. In one of his interviews, I know Kazu, expected by media dear. No, why be Biafra
station, man.
And I'm a Samunya internet.
Which one? No. A search so proof station man or yes, I interview. No, can't media by the phone. Media because
wow, look at that. Look at that.
One cap media budget. Also abolish it.
Look at that. You see, young kind of country when they and he has provided timeline. No, that's not what we are talking about. Now, what about I import duties?
So, I think
you're sending a message by the mountain sending him grab you.
Yana Mekai.
message no mo di blood me cast on sending man na yan kan no so say no kafa
producer na chiro ma me onye obi an send
and the man ntro ma biu say no so atuka de wo ho and president mama kasa no mo ntie ya na you see me kasa bebrebe na e ba impo an ka be benefit a chairman
Ediane ba me
levy we import duties or motis so anka wona wo na vovo wa broche bibi anka maso o ma sauce
nyina gu achimsi no
so that's it enti we dey yesre yes yen kasi onyegma sisa anima menu we sa di menu we onye na nti aban na nimu mo.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Charles, but this in order. Senior D can kind of what we trust on people himself with chia and some of these comments no eboa e shape proper governance into what kind meji this obefano asopam because we see na asopam na beboa ama governance na ma who ni say bia no pa criticize one constructive criticism will help
wonna mo nka ka mi no ngenge
yeah bra afa two very important areas.
Maybe enemy remu asa number masima
maybe en wakawi ka wo de
make us remu we on say a two bi on say wo gia ya na sabi nyansa wo kakra na ye what ma say and then the whole world I covid at wo ye pa na agi if you are saying na we can to covid to
e say abolish it
there be obenya country the whole world no country just ade na ye agi ni kura no sabi nyaado ye nkofo de be na nyansa nim yare ya ba se pe yare ne puma sibre no ye se eje ho to otima se nyankopon adaro yare koye na no no mo akoye by force research ese bibi ba se hu ba de wo otima se ese ade betumi hu bibia ene yage to ye fi ade hu a na no wo trans na me musa wan ko trans na no na wo ka se bibi producer twen na mo ka se mi se de se enema ye fi oni ade mi pa be busa obi ama wo yima no because I support enema bi ni mu ama ne bros adentia na no to da ko aba no obi nyenzi aba ye dia
nsemi so me
ye dia ene de ko ba bi wona sanya ese e ka
ede na enye ese ede na enye
no ka import duty and na ufika national ko chokoni ade
I supported him
cars no obi tennis you of fairness
no but I supported him
what was say san yema we ba betra ho sa
I supported him.
I did now because of was so ye a tuning in every other man. And he never gets coffee. Because of IMF conditionalities. Oh, you can now no once in the cocoche fu emuno. And me and the IMF on the coche.
Now the IMF.
Me is a question. You do once the coche and find show. You also be casa. Tell them to be before. I don't know if I could feel not to be talking baby. Fine. When any was simple more by or mine say Yariamu at 2 years. Every year, the baby other. Hey, only Ghana. When grow friend and say, oh, man, young conkai, and only taxes be banned and 1 year. No banner year for them before front of their talking. No boom problem. We're more boom for my country. What am I say? I know to the economy, but I be a contractors in the Ebayana.
If I try, okay, kind about contractors and not yet chibi.
Yet chibi. Hey. Me flat to Ghana crowd.
Okay, so sometimes the funds are released, but it be in good room.
Because when says so minor, upon say near my form pa, and you are never form because no worker abe. So say local back 40 Ghana cedis, but they say 25. Even a non public Medina market, me told me 20 cedis. What was say? A local back, me turn 20, on put 25, me turn 20. And the man will break to be from. But at the end of the day, Sika and Crawford, ye Crawford no more. Omo atom no na no to da ko ebi system scanning etiade no ba form to say the Accra no say ntria omo ye dwuma Ghana ne ka already omo my awo be last month see eba betria contractors ka any ade etria omo ne ade omo me hu sade na reflect o omo ni mutima say na ntimi reflect o nipa ni nyina body mu but at the end of the day ye etria but hu niema na ni so ye how hu niema na ni so media de me kan say na no to da ko na pound for abai no wa ya ade enne no ka say bibia to ye ni ade niema ko ye but we make sure say niema no beto reflect o nipa pocket and the dollar no and yes enam 10 point something obi no so say enam 13 say aye niema bebre ba bia so mu somu ba bia obi a benya no one way bia name say one city ni esesa na ese ba bia reflect one city because there be another dollar no ese your position for cram in the omom your business cram different angle I don't know basa ese ngeti me one wouldn't see a $100 say be a 10.5 baabi changes abakra ebi attenses ni enyina ba we dia wudu baabi a na ya de foforo wudu na ya de foforo even according to grofokra amoko American embassy kokoje visa amni ade mpono also say almost they different almost different adentia those things na say timi show o man na etimu no upon say mo de niema to ye fine but mo make sure say bibia be equal bibia obia so nya no han mo na so do micro brown Kenya say a year still now the same thing abenya no but ni kwa say wunya no han mo osu an mo tia laboni tia udu osu an changes abam no esa da bia nipa benya wansa maka omo ya ade toto niema minister be wakasa wo toto niema ne ade niema toto ye die but omo niema ne reflect onipa botom omo nipa nya we no because ye ti oman mu no bi person dudu na person to card chew dudu na because yeah radio radio dudu na ye fans on wa so bi okoje mpem to card bre wo ba wa betima yi ana na wa wo se nipa na to car na o tabre on mpuno enu bi 100,000 Ghana cedis e bi ade no pa ade no kokko is can be 200,000-300,000 Ghana cedis how na me call ya na say me ba hu mpo nya ne jai jama ne kan me ntra me baby enu nti bo say dudu na geska kakra mu jetire no an kokura no betimi dai bibi but because of duties ni ade no anu odin ti no etien ye pa mampani chew no minim pass mampani ye hu campaign ye kasa fa hu so ba nyina duties ni nyina mpo mfi no ebe ba former mani ye nuam obusa say Togo ukotogo because me nan for mu use Togo cars fo chabete ukotoka Togo anefo the way Togo car tie Togo dia the Togo wa onu timi ye duty free Togo ya obi o Togo bia beto daka bia nya ka mu ada ka fu bia ni abonte ade papa nkwa na mo de nam na o ti so ta ko Togo a o say obi a onye obi kura no kura car se bia mo se bia nya do eye kama Ghana branches na no tu dako se wo ka be 3 4 enkenche wo ka ne bo nya di e wa brofo ne wo ye de omo ship na e ba so shipping fee boni bo nya di o edu Ghana na da ne bo achibidin na no tu dako mi nse nkofo ba mienu miensa promise on person to come e chewu e ba wutimi nyi
obi am promise me
mi baby I promise ba wutimi nyi na ba no so am first kan wutimi nyi because what talk ka bia 70,000-80,000 Ghana cedis first ne Toyota Corolla ba kwa me dia ba kwa me to say me ton 79,000 Ghana cedis what ma say and I'm almost 30 almost 3 billion what ma say 300,000 2 to 300,000 san ye ton me ton 2022 year me na me to you what ma say akwako dru because of duty na dey into na akwako to car na say wi obenyi ni say akwako to sa how eniema bo opon say eniema ne pese ba form no na na me say o ma wesi ho beto ya me ho de project ya ho de nyina wo port so ese hihye nyina wo port so other countries ene omo ye pe no we ye di om bebre anim no ada na ho de omo yi cars omo de dem ba import duty efo obia eba omi ba me ni se mi kitwa so but oba na sa ya da ne bo achi bidin it take me for ways and means we me for nyes ka from fi baby na no there's no need gold we to form hey na say say to your gold ye de ni ko to your gold there's no need say de ho odin be ebe kosi port so and then 1 kilo of gold is saying 1 kilo of gold is saying na bro $100,000 and at the end go we to this for so form o ukra machine na one nya machine companies papa one nya 2-3 kilos a day na ma we for concession mo ye djuma yo na scanning na akodi form o adan ye dia ho odin nyina akodi port so niema nkrofo high obi person de niema ba otuma de niema papa o de ba wuntimi nyi enti amfa ma wonnam na wo obi ka na odi wani na entutu efini to no wo me crazy so eti so mampani na omo ta ho no omo check o maye na omo toto niema ma nipa wuntimi nto no nyesa ye be na wo se ye boy ensem ye tuatua ka na ka de se be tua ba me mo form concentration ko tia se e ka na kufa do be boto won ye tua saa brekwa ye fa nye development o na me se ka na tua no kufa do de oboto tua yi de tua yi na tua se ka me ko je ebu anko a ka 100 and something million Ghana cedi wutie me so me se sa no motua 113 billion Ghana cedi anamboa yadi si voter region so quality ye had to voter region kwani mienu nyina eni entu akana na nankeye abofo so mo ka so mbabu ye once they ka amtm mu
upe so dru be e declare country
bankrupt obian declare bankrupt anu akowe wa join ko for the epic wa join ade na we kanana enke ye enteska we upon me the penny for what you know. Vote out Miss Nano and say, won't be cold, Nana. And no matter boy, be quite welfare, be quite welfare, and your boss watch me, and then so I took a cray over the Cape Coast, and I was a Kumasia, South a quiet coast, and I don't even go. A Canada, what you are my brother, your words, as I'm offending you by Canada, dear, a cancer near two also. Kakra, young woman, finding any development, Kakra, near the single. A cafu, Sammy, a cafu, 1 man in a Kakra. Now, some of Canada, everybody say, 4 days or 5 days, 8 days, 4 point something billion. Who's okay? No, I say, the. Guess what can be Bishaho? No, I'm not Ghana for Rachel. South Carolina would be, and because of that, Attorney General, no moving out calling him. It is like, we have to be bomb pow. No, yes, Nana. 4 days, 5 days, no call. Because they are baby or call your son. Young country and found. Tinana media a car muso motiano a year dear but nana yes one and we can find a boom be was it ye dear son dear fata nana me no to is I would to crow way more region mo bra pa voter region ko voter and I make an over tin American who call tinia the adena won't never be a overco unya what if a salukanko Ekwa força and say they life
yeah be any
near for 30 point something billion say they go to aka 130 ya go to your budget so eka will be ameda makane na hold on for the debt no yen kwa nim kakra never
say na no to that
obedi matawoni
that be I say I will buy you or in fact I'm support to more porter you know I said I know to that I'll buy you 2024 Honda Civic if you reduce port charges.
Thank you. No, so better mama when you or better mama.
Can one of you?
Or better mama. What's the number?
Facebook messenger. What
contributed to the program.
To the program.
And I'm just in the Facebook post on Castle talk mommy.
Nana,
he will buy you.
Your company, how you can talk. I say, or better to the other talk go way more or more from the do money. Obey make sure I need to go back. So, Tim and Ghana need to go ya pepper. Me do young upon. Unshia on the casa maybe this war. And crowd on Kofobi cry. Ukomu pe mhanuma ekura woni pakam kan wo ye ho hwie nye eso no na eso de ko
if you nkure no bi akam
ura na twi na me count twi ka esiwa no wo bi ma lift kwa na awra ho pop ensuo nyina afiase e ba otia so no wa fe ne se how can this car nipa use the ko baby adenti me wan ka car de ko twa 2 years no atwa sa car no o ma ne cha won samu a e do abra bako fam o ese wusi kan nyina card acha 2 to 3 years ese o yifi unsam na apefo fo o ma bi o mo ekọ ni mu bia ana mo nyansa bia ase ete Ghana wo kotofo anu ani age fo ese eto wo ko America ne ade a fo ni nyina e de che companies nyina mo de che mo wo mo de amodwire na ne credit ni ade a beto no ti all the time abese sa wo phone sama ne o tiba ko woni na ne makọ nanim ye to o ma mo gisa auto ade no bibia ye auto ena esa company e pese edidi empanifo nyina ye din ne port no na ko ho no ma ba bi ho no ma hopo pra stadium president sa mo ma ne mamra fo no obi ahudu to no obi azu ntimi nya nipa adan ena grofo isu ka fon sa ensu oto ana na otu da ensu oto na onam kwa mu a dodo nyina ka asa na kwa block edi ente because of niema nko ye ntini we enti so mampani na pamfo omo toto niema de e ka na onto omo nsusu ntua sika no mbe ko tua ka no onfanye development abrofo nka kire se ombagini na wochina womba na ombeko ebe negotiate ye go do mko tua ade do mutu impo won se so abibifo nyansa hofom obroni ti se company se new mont ni ade to gold o man mu a Ghana de o mu ye 3%. Obia man finance from say no stop work obia hold on when you acquire them ntiase ye na ye dia ye be 40 mu na mutu mu fa 60
menye sure say Ghana ewo as at now menye sure Ghana you shares in any of the gold mines.
Oh there be we are percentage
I think they are royal no we go and check I think royalties you need shares of him.
So other than say term
royalties ni corporate taxes no to your mind.
So other than say term how do it because now me know to every Monday Wednesday Saturday helicopter call a buna of Kenya say e kokko fa gold e de ba na no to like na dey kwa na e ba ye ya de le unkrofobia of advantage ye to oil la ye to nyina fa so bi ani so ye percentage ye o me say nipa no po discover I odi ani mo kofa company ni buy kofa company onu de o mbe 2% bu Ghana wo mi say ye de nu 20 ada na say town sa de ye ntimi town ye say ade o mo pani ko fo ni grofo ye enya papa stop work monto mo bo fu na de ba ye no more trans mo timi my 30 to 40% amunya tuo.
In fact, Nigeria oil onya 51%.
Thank you.
So then be someone say why is ours different?
Difference ye won penifo no go mo dwin nya dwuma na omunya correct. And no timi trans na obi what discover oil. Obi so oba betu. What's my 13% to 12%? What's my get to because of kakra de go kotoko be si fie nti o. Omo nyina agya da mudi o. Na no to da ko. Empanifo na go chade adamudi o personal one.
10%.
Na me ko do ebu atu na Ghana pa wo the Ghana man 1 week. Stop work. No company work. Sa company I will stop everybody.
Me say they should renegotiate all the mining contracts.
All the money
they should renegotiate to be a contract.
Yes, you can na omo fa the free the ko.
Amam from be renegotiating your buy ya initiating no. Waje ne de obeda ya renegotiate.
Na adan ye tron your man ye dia no na nipa ba ko mienu etimi hihye mra bone de man na ankrofo be fam niam nyina de ko free ne eto no sa obi aba obi anka ho hwe me send this about we de nyina giridi o enum do betima ye sa niam on fam na nsi from no stop ankrofo bi adwuma no trans hihye niam afro o mo ntimi o mo nyai country crop first or also no so ni enye o na ni dwa bi mo wontwam ye kra tu e eniam afi abroche ba na ba dodo na ba pa be kuyen yenta ni emomo ne ne ko bi na ebe boaye ada ni atena ho na nkrofafa omani mu niam nyina wonfa de free the whole world Ghana ni Cote d'Ivoire pen ye koko adwuma ana me boa ye pen koko ni edi wudwa ye ne bebre ye ntimi ni term price mpo enkrofo na transfer price ye say de
so world price
what no here who ni bi obi ani bi pen na wo che word and e me farm forget it can shin mpo ya yamfu ya nshin ntumu na ne short word o mo ti ani abre ono no nya bibi a o ye na board ama wo okofa iPhone keke iPhone ba o mo ti 50 or 16 pro no de ba you over 30-40,000 Ghana cedis e wo ha bibi ni wagimenti no ato ne saa na wa so kokotoko ba ko enu 5,000 na de ama no de aye enuane de no wadi no wa sa beton ene chocolate ba ko na no to the when was last time I did chocolate o ma wo fie kwant mi to wo ko so import traffic mu o to ase ni ati ade we wana bro mo tisie ye bi bia nkwa mpanifo no so ba obia ye din ni mansa na ekono
ye gold land enso yentimi to go check
entimi ko already me so
gold watch
na no to en na mo bobo
anka you to make na gold chain the day na
square ni Germany bobo no mo yi coaches ra no mo tewo na no me so hwe gold ring hye mana na utimizi ama u hye oba bi na hwe ni ring a potututu bi bia nche no akada de ko bre na danenza gold yin ha so na yetu no ano to dago se antanse antoto niema yi anhyehyɛ niema ne mpanifo na ntima form na nsi form ete dru ba bia ya na Africa countries on money a dig akra no ya na ye no obi timi boss da bi obi amde niema mu nyina mu ntomobo ese trans na anhyehyɛ foforo ne ese timi nye fa ahodie fi mu o hawa e de ato ye port ne ade tax afafo a ye nyina e ye anhyehyɛ ya ntima anye papa wo so timi ye niema tima ye pai ne ye se de kokeke na no to dago and once you twagu nsuo so wokota krade porter se nsuo enua na gusu saa na brofo itwe kwata ye ton fofofo Ghana ni kwa pa bidia ya konwa ne mpade aye no wo twa no de ba carpenter ni achi no kwa mu
na wo connect budget no
yes what am I budget le mu an ye wo no budget le ni ayi bia
is it a do team
any fa pim bia ye budget the team ba wo bi
maka kogunta
wo to bo grade budget ka kogunta ni ya abanyina wanka
why are the pass or kind
o say abe 40 abe po no na me to 20 cities e madi na ma
ba from
e wo from kama no ho na benya dodo na do benya to ena bibifo no do ba bia ye nya achum obi atima konwura ma kosesa anwa enwa wo 3 4 o 200 Ghana cities sana Ghana for etiu eto beto atanwa ho saa udru East Legon Mensvik Hotel the opposite was ma mi bi ho enwa no untimi to bia bia fefe na omisi ho eso onye ni bia en support so ko bia nya bia nkobeto me no wo kasai udru America embassy a onse papa bi to abro ho America embassy obi to abro ho no papa na bro ndi cheap 20 Ghana cedi per one abro ya to tu 30 to 20 wo ni fa so no ni kokko the same board ya betem 25 35 40 Ghana board ya betem
oh da bi makodina ha man to da
no sa papa wo nya chi na ese kwache no
makodina ha no man to da
ese chi no straight
too much a bro betem
a bro betem 30 cities
or opposite American
amazi uyan kwansan phone wodi
so America
wagi scan so sa so na ni mu nya so
America
na ni mu nya so tutu so on to
America dey on inside na America but na aka
ni Ghana sikana wajira kese ni onfa unenu nsu atutu onfa bi gosinese nipa bibini adwombo ni ba ni tima na ida fi se wa salu so concentration what ma say enter before na to yese ka ho bi because I go market now hwe niam no bia ka say ba for mo ama ne bros no and say we dem mo sister station we for nkokoye UTV for and no news na me hwe na to da show mo ko market ko busa question no market now show the Ghana for ni bi count to the Ghana for ni there ya for special ya kan for no Mami this one no last NPP time no sin da no top cement 104 but now cement na do 130 it want who dey wum obi sisi dollar and crampo bar from no dey say ama market say kon na to me shocking po na mo so ko interview no to be specific no mo share that point go for bi obi di ka kokko picking go for the go
agenda interview
we dey no dey and no news what man Saturday na no to that go you better dey we hu e before ni kan ho and abroad for advantage of us because me no ka say yes China for no higher Ghana say ni adere na no to that go China for ni mpanimfo wo Ghana na negotiate 24 hours wo mo ka bi wo mu nyina China for no negotiation bi wo mo to go do no nana si antu ye bo antrase anto to niema ye na da bia ye the tax na nipa ho kire no meanwhile wo niema wo krai mu a hu hia say ye depend on a port niema port taxes the bia na de boy den port bibia bebia na ne boy den wutumi krade ketua bi na de bro na wo kwakoyi a wutumi pontuaka enti when the media we budget come there but any entry reflect on nipa bottom Saturday they say
Burkina Faso leading mineral ref to say you go leading mineral in Burkina Faso no munya $1 billion annually.
Yeah.
Try buy or stop here. Last report na make say no credit fine. But it's your money 85 billion annually. Okay. No munya $1 billion annually. Say see no when you 84 to 85 billion annually.
I know.
Say no Bruni sisi o.
I know too.
Wa stop you.
O ma kwan. On farm Bruni so onyo.
Try ya stop you.
Wa kra nema na ba. E na mabunu no.
Contractors omo dey ejuma.
No one edi kwan no.
No to that. On say the okay.
Send target.
No to. Anyama ye wo ma we mu no. Anyama ye wo ma we mu no. Any kwase depend on port. Ansah no ma we tima konanim. Else nipa timi stop nipa djuma wo ye. No one in the trans yan hihye from money kwanimu. Yeti crow we mu na say even class say class o man nyina nyina agu kotokori house na teams nyina agu enya be ntia sponsorship boarding obi ba hanu ba be adwuma ogie sika wia na o de sponsor team abrochire wo check o mo a team abrochire teams nyina na wo tie wo check am the sponsor na wo share dia na wo ga go father wo fi ye mo ana and you remember before one the sponsor will be outside. Omudi ye niam omukrum. Ni atia no niam ni na mo afani na free. Ni atia nyam panimfo. O mampani we do about the earn one term. Na na twitwa niam mu.
And they said good boarding example.
Twitwa niam good board ye na mo ye no. What the example nye ye o?
Oh, wo hwe sika ye nya about 5.2
Thank you.
billion dollars. It's more than the multinational cover.
Me too
multinational. But this from the small scale.
Small scale. And because ya new month when go company like I say no. Yes, stopping in another you can say there. The only to be a percentage won't be a 40%. Yes, I'm Munya Juma. Nana me count 9. 1 month or 2 months. Ghana better straight.
Even if we start from 30%.
Don't come down. I don't know the other one better can say.
Anyways, 40% is
40 60 because of machine audience. And mama one example. Yet to crow we obisi me create app. App ekeu. No, on top papers, on top petrol. But me get 30%. Oma passenger. Ansah be near what transport minister. No what one no share. It's about to create app.
About to create app.
To create app 5%. And na juma mo nya bra ye create be on about to share. Drivers and kwa bet
4 to 4 bread. Oh, sorry.
It's app. And once way no young go ni boat we chem straight. And I'm from 5% no nya jai.
And no into man competition. Who do the about 10%?
Oh man competition.
To come down.
My track with my bokro no. Who the about 5? Yes, we have 5. Untimi ajai. One one be command sa ne manko. Wo ko wi an mo de no raise mo de no. Na emrante no enu adwuma kese. 5% abai no mo ka wo.
Na wa say cars among
we can pay.
Oh Charlie.
Enti ade ne beton no obi ti kro we mu. Me se udru we ya boys no. After the so fun one. Now the coba bia no antema aka. Bra ye kwa be say wo se ne kwa out no de say me dum app no.
Now the maba. But you off trip.
Yes.
You off trip.
Identity say transa e mrante no ba onya ready so person twi e yema mo ye obi abenya dwuma ye eno nko be create dwuma heavy ye to am obi to no editate no 30% na oman ma dwuma ba ne ba ye wo ne obi e connection say de kra be ma 10 per na day normally begin
30%.
30% na
ye hwe no.
Ni ye hwe no.
No, it's bad.
No, no. Ya me ni amre na no DSTV a na ho nto beta na o ke say hu
ke so ma revise DSTV.
Ya fe o mo so mo 30% say EFT so ama minister so on tia say bonza amna for me. No wo beta ke say hu say enye minister djuma na no minister to no negotiation na djuma ade e hye wase bia no
for African head no kra emra
because ya tia no ya djuma na ya GTV hoyi emu anko na mu yi program papa bia ni so. Oh, mami kama say no wie
kafu the program say come
ade no yo wo bi no presenter da na wo beta ni team ya fukusu we get share npo nkoye ni usu nkoye obi no man use oni na nkoye.
We should not, please.
No mami kama say
but we should not be discussing personalities.
I'm not discussing my Bobie. Personality
about GBC and
also some changes ada wo ya DSTV nkofa hu TV3 for copy do standard bi hu ye ada hu ye na no election wo hwe TV3 for no mu gye hono ma wani baje coat a coat jeans a jeans bi bia dem yopo abrante we die nipa wig egu na chi na emu due wu de ekoso company kakra kai o machines ye nya hwe no obi atime de bibi fi abrocha ba no de abawie na we sia wo yi ball na no mo yi 1997 1992 1948 anyema no yi onyi bibia ye wiase GBC CEO wo gibia 120 80,000 Ghana cedi a man what we dey emphasize on so mun change shade and ho nyina wo ko nipa trash akakse nko how nana etibede no bi firi kro mo fa bibi ma mebu Ghana for ha na ye machines obi a mo so mo GTV Sports GTV Plus GTV 1 ni nyina bibia no year papa was.
You come back to the budget.
I'm coming there sanya ma wo nyina ye obroni bi ma mebu ye obi mfa bibi South Africa for ba kro imu hwe ni ma South Africa for dia ba kro imu ni nyina wo di bu ye hwe mo se wo na se wo dra mo na wo hwe ni ma ye to mo mu utimi scan go for etwa na no odi o
nyina so ye repatriate scan ko
me count na wura na hwe ni pa eto niema ni asala ni etua kom se urade ye sika nyina ko for di ko yo
to man nti menye mo
na me se wo se ne ende sei edu anwumra wa mo me islegon on se me kono mo baby o share top no na odru onya baby mpakeka baby aba pakeka mpo adi o na hwe sika nkofo ye o mu wi anom ebe de no ma na ye yes aniema mo ton so abu fuasam na akutuo ne niema nyina eno an ye hye o mo sa hye dwa edwa no na ye to a na nkofo de ko
jo first na niema
nti bi dis America na say o mampani mo ni nkolo ka niema no na enyuma ne bi o mo ngeje no mo trans hye niema no foforo ebe ma budget am mo be no ebe du mpempenso bi no eniema be read bibia be ba fom ama nipa ho adwato no dansa da bia ye ba ne abebu ye nsem abrekra mfeto nipa boto
ye bo abuse microcredit say omo bo besia me pa chow ne ohia no Ghana card this time omo menkofo be pray to call this time obetimi enya bi me ba chow try ne ko na onso ko peka kra na fa hye wadwum 0596 920833 0596 920833 so Tina 74 mixture ebuan koyad wa be pray wow treatu typhoid fever kidney infections hepatitis B omo yem ya na mu yade chest pain high blood pressure ulcer bebre asthma ovarian cysts just make her den major den liver infections in the eka ho afi obi wa abo a nko wadru die ntimbiachro obetimi from no anya omo so other herbal shops 0246 073498 and 0501 628931 obetimi from CCI Electroland Ghana. Huge savings ahead at the Electroland Media Clearance Bazaar. Samsung, TCL, Media, NASCO. Nina ya mom massive discounts. In fact, because if you are near tonight, a boy Electroland Ghana baso, time $1 call from the first company. I tell money maso Electroland. Yet tran catch them Crawford said they should go to Electroland, even though no more sponsoring. So back here, you catch the Ghana for they should go to Electroland. Ansah na kafa many other ones. Yeah. And you know, I'm not surprised. Say, and I hear your advert. So Electroland Ghana, I'm drinking Ghana to be an kotadie na Ghana my Jessica. But your massive sale Efri Yawada 31st July to Sunday 10th August 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. daily. Electroland was printers and American near Coca-Cola roundabout. LED TVs free 799 cedis. Fridges, refrigerators 1,200. We need the washing machines 1,199 cedis. Just say any money I to say fella discount in the muye. Friend number in the Kwajo dear 0503 159739 0503 159739. Me mama TV I was not back could be na person here was that watching cartoons.
I feel I can see.
Me bana me di Dr. Amageshi Herbal and Spiritual Center and what dance actually of course Imbu Herbal Mission so Asanso and a Georgie reality and so on. But my main call back to Charles McCarthy still on the budget. Charles, yeah, 10
specifics Bianca Odi mami.
Oh, okay. Okay, but you can start somewhere whilst I get it. Yeah.
Okay. Anna, who said budget today your mind not come about? And you know, your agency about robotics. Your more your funding. San George do the youth in digitization and coding. Me what? Need massive for any allocations and what have you. The major issues here youth development.
Okay.
Kwa be faswa e mabuna ye wo man we mono ye ho be hin ye.
Okay.
And so kwa na me report bi I think say one of these como say about 15 years now. So youth policies are by the banner. Grandiose, but empty. The impact, minimal. That is from 2015. ABC and now ye kase. Enti ubitma for BBC Youth Employment Agency. Ubitma for BBC say NEIP. Any near kika ho. No bisa say impact they get the policies they but all kind of policy people they are solid. But a month for you training or more no. How are they fitting into the system?
Okay. The
workspace. For instance, and I say my own say Malik a year BB. When I talk about Malik, I'm talking about Sintali, for instance. He goes to negotiate with commerce for no the local industry. Or could share no more doing come up and to move your recruitment give me opportunity to fact I'm abuning bread. Emre mona mon recruit to that one, yes. But ufa NIP ni nasifo na what have they been able to do? Apart from youth employment and from youth in traffic. NAPCO is part of it. Then you bit me a boy a boakase a solve. They get it. You debate all right, but are we solving the problem? I know too. You tell we say nana me tine say we a prolific poet.
Prolific poet.
Stylishly, no. You are very good at it. Until we are set it up be say capital be near the mawa. You see, the capital area develop, you will account for. These are some of the things we want to see. Because you GEA, Ghana Enterprise Agency, you NIP, National Entrepreneurial you National Youth Authority, you Youth Employment Agency, what are all these things doing? And then your focus on your day. Are we training? Are we upskilling? Are we giving skills to the people? What exactly? And a focus of Saniyamawi. They be a budget need their shame. Rebecca budget need the action, need a can't need the sika You see, if you help somebody through these policies, not the panant to me, I'm funny pa back me no mensa and transform me or more, then there is no use. So I say, yeah, one you bit me up one and one boy will be. That is a policy. And a funny policy, no. Inti uma benefiting from youth employment scheme. And inti ene me a welder, me shop in ye, me a hairdresser, my in ye. Me so ma me show me train. Do you get it? This is how we should look at it in helping to grow and make people independent. What I say, yes, and I will move them from government budget. Until only by government of Ghana budget payroll, so until a reduce burden, you know. Oh, but over far and 100,000 in the case of NAPCO. I need say 100,000. You say, how much do we pay NAPCO for? 550, 700. Can I say this? For doing nothing. I know too. No more nyashe. A chomo gusukeke. And the big coffee brook man or mutin toto. A bruning catty in the drana ni sumas from no motor. A year no more skill. Must submit proposal. Put yourself in groups of 3, groups of 4, groups of 5. So what I say, now my put proposal, solid proposal, but you review so you fine tuning my proposal. No, you pay a man for more guide them. You pay kakra go and set up. Do you get it?
Yeah.
And then we will monitor your progress. When we say a no more boy, so near to see Kelgua, and I TSC near AC, you see a man yourself, your mind and the tree. You better china ye dear. Oh, of course, technical university will be a year or year painting, or be your marketing. What I say, will be your accounting, and you know, project works. You know, let's pick them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for different courses. What I say, you put them together, bring your expertise, munya one project. Now, I buy so much.
Yeah,
a beboa. So I say, the guy say, we are better project work. No, they are corner are they are now cool. We are not as a bathing about baby before frasi. You get it? Because I see all solve a problem and do identify a problem and why research to tackle that situation and to review any way you saw a senior bit to me aboa, but not concentrate in Accra. Because a project work now, why I say, maybe I will sample, or sample now, or research, and no, then first they say, go more affected now, research and your focus. What I say, then we are helping you to go and solve the problem in Gumuafete. That is how we develop. But unfortunately, everybody wants to be in Accra. And the youth employment in as if you bad concentration and crime. We do a bimpone biniho. We do village, we do district, biniho. Because the concentration is in Accra. And now bring me your pointers. Now,
okay, so we train baby.
Budget in the just about number digest.
Yes. Exactly. But they can't catch a and no has to do with, for instance, the holding the national economic dialogue, tightening spending while protecting social investment, and increasing funding for education, health, agric, establishing Ghana Good Board. Some of the things are my free honum. Only didn't come about some strong fiscal performance. So, for instance, primary balance surplus of 1.1%. Meanwhile, now I'm targeting 0.4% into your BT. Then fiscal deficit reduced from 0.7%. GDP outperforming a target of 1.8%. I feel inflation or can a drop it from 23.8% as of December 2024. As of June, and the net 13.7%, which is the lowest since 2021. I feel our treasury bill rate say a falling sharply. A year 91-day T-bill from 27.73% to 14.73%. Okasafa some historic CD appreciation. Say on here, CD appreciated 42.6%. Okay, so against the US dollar, that is 30.3%, and against the British pound by 25.6%. Osankasa about restored investor confidence. Okasafa restored investor confidence. I think when it has to do with growth target set for 2025, I say real GDP growth of at least 4.0%. Non-oil, I mean, in that order. But also real sector performance, GDP growth for Nankasano as a cost by 5.3%. Now 4.9 as of 2024. And a non-oil GDP growth, by 6.8% compared to 4.3%, in the marking year since 2018. Agric grew by 6.6%, which is tripled. New policies boosting momentum, 24-hour economic and big push. Crowd, I said 13.8 billion. And almost the rules in the idea, a cow might be to so like you said, we have proper time to digest.
Yeah, but the point remains
highlight any arrest or my clear.
Yeah, can the BR say before even this statement was presented today?
VAT reforms.
I know too. Yeah, can we studio ha any baby brayako say atonoma bomo mode. Mama buying we 6-7 months away no. Born in home modern, and a man for feeling say a 4-year-old. And the people want a man for year the day, say, but Omuria Fimpo say it is just beginning, that it is still in its first year. Anchor, Babia, and you was wrong. Anchor, you don't even criticize this government because
after 1 year,
or fully grounded, yeah. But because of the performance. Surprises are more one day so more yentina. A man for fees say no. Let's criticize them. And yes, the goodwill too thick. The goodwill no deep to the extent say Johnny and start and go more Gary Moore or me five free. They get it. Because yes, gold board establishment in a record time. And I submit and in a pound for I finish it the act no and don't call you more passive more even before the timeline now president the amount so I say gold balls was by your home for so I diaba aboa ama ye gold reserves no surana echo ama yetimi anya dollar the choco yes city no ama bibia ho aye fine and na affect petroleum prices are and o filling station bono e wo form no saadi we enaba eno so ka ho so mo se same nana na adetonfo guta ne na asefo nyina gitum so motete niam so ena omote so you see na manfo e ka ena temade ni sinu sa tem na ye nkra niam enti ye be kra niam dollar na be kosro mebo ene sa window no mo di kra niam no say apa ho atra it is still the way it is and I think say yes say see ye be ka ban way ni awaye within this short period now no to yentimi kan wie. So I say we cannot. We are only centered on economy. I say we are only centered on one aspect of it, which is the economy, finance. What I say, and then a month for mutia. Yen Kanagana for you to say Kawins when a buy win a bar to her. Nyamubo kanu to her no.
Must actually sinking fan working.
This government is really doing what they promise. A year reset. Or more reset. I know too. You gonna make first na now one person make no. Na the can nyama mi ensa pombe ye. Na sa. Na problem ni tu dina twa. Omo ye asan. The cat nyama mi ensa pe. Ah ban we ye wi a.
Anything.
Galamsey.
Okay. Very important area.
To galamsey ase.
Okay. That is one.
Say obenya courage no.
Two ase.
Na DC is MC is omoye galamsey. Aye ka omu suma boys mo be di atem no. Be yo mu adwuma. Takwa de no. Number 1.
Takwa DC.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
Bahama appointee.
Yeah.
Otu galamsey.
No na ntwe omo so no mu disika. Na me say I'll publish it on Tuesday. Agreement on
any concession.
Agreement on my ya. I'll put that thing out.
You have that?
I have. The small boy be there and I'll put it out. Man, come I say me so ba me the beba be tuja. Na ba bi op bi against ya.
And you am seeing the people. One the conference chairman Dan Lad.
I will deal with them.
Oh, Takwa.
I say, oh, until say John Dramani Mama. Now ban we nya courage. Tackle illegal mining. Headlong. Now obi bia we ye involved. So we ye minister, we ye wine, we ye involved. What me kaki the whipper. I know too. Ghana for being a GT with them.
I feel bit to say Yami ne Abanga.
Ho.
Omoya meme demand
suspect
demand Yoko say on from on nani ochina ya na 1 week gone Yoko to me from why is Yoko
well, I was saying it's a clear case that the government is serious in fighting.
Yes, but Yoko must swing in. Let Yoko call them.
Maybe they've been called.
Oh no, tip the extraction accountability project.
Yes.
Call ni say sa ntutwemu Yoko beye no. It shouldn't be secret. Person omu yi ni wo TV so.
No be anhwe. Na why be bo din bia so.
No bia be bo ni bia na ko hwem.
When you be hu nkofo
call ye fre ye sre aban ni say sa investigation now on my directive Yoko so onye relative to Yami ni ai abanga no. We want it to be televised live for every Ghanaian to see. Then you will see the people who are really doing it. So they should open up for people to present evidence. And no more, willing to appear before that committee. We are willing to appear before that committee to go and present video evidence of people destroying our lands. Oh yeah, anyway, I know too. Now on my port duties, no, a bathroom. No, you COVID in Nigeria. Now I told to me demolish $1 and to me the dollar and break 8.
No, forestry commission. No compartment now. What was it? Also another the same thing. Gateway to the same way. No, no quite changes. No want to be great poor here. We be other.
So I saw communals commission. No, you see uniform.
Maybe Mr. Brown.
Oh yeah.
It's more I see.
I'm telling you any idea. But Mr. Brown, you know Mr. Brown. I know what thing.
Fighting galamsey. Oto galamsey for no ye. O ye port duties ni wie na dollar no mo break 8 ara no tu. Tetem na befa.
Tetem.
There is no law is made for man, not man
and
for law.
And they need majority to do law. And when you have the majority,
law is made for man. Law is made for man.
So, Olma uncle.
And your name go.
Yes, I'm ready today. And
then Tiha Peter Tobu. Ebeka say and said the crow for. So one day police said one number MP.
Okay.
Police officer.
But yes, I've interviewed.
He was a police officer.
Yes.
The retirement
police officer.
Yeah.
No one in
raw police attended to her.
MP.
MP. When the people call you, you respond.
My uncle.
And you and Abeka say uncle. Me see my man I indicators. Or breaking some indicators we are.
Indicators do obe break am.
Break call. Uncle kwa hin. Well, this is who are the age be.
Maybe. Or 10 years ago.
Well, they are good for the
early days yet.
It is not a man. Oh, yeah, but
Kufuor started 73.
Oluma, one year not doing so.
And you're not, you're not doing so.
Anyways,
no, man, second one we don't go.
First one, the person also
uncle. Yeah, then call.
First one also uncle.
Oh, you're not doing so. Come here. No, so person try parliament wa.
Yeah.
Pressure and the dinner about yes this to me so ye where you are. I say na no.
Ya back of man abombo. Ya back of one.
Okọ Kumasi nanu utie.
Market or him I be.
Utie o manu.
One no man 25 years. One say to me 25.
25. It say Xi Jinping.
Yeah, cut 25 at least extra one term.
Oh, no man ko dey na say you declare no year life president.
Oba na si Ghana for nya dide wonumu a na otu anka otuminya 2/3 majority. First in the history of this country. Obia yes was
second time
over 900,000 votes.
Ghana for yes wonko.
I doubt.
Obia waluzu election over 900,000 first in the first time a president wako 4 years
waluzu heavy
na wako aba
na really heavy
yanti
energy no
na there's a 57% plus
he can win the next elections if person kwa
and yes if your man indicators no
onko
and your best no
onko
on continue on yema
yema
ka so yema ya yebehu
onko
and the man nye
no be sorry no more yet
yeah you should say so person will continue man now ye pan there oh come on there will be no need to change you see mo ya mo share sports no mo football mo ka be say team no solid
yes
player
yeah
me boa
yeah
entinu say
nye player mretiano
Ryan Giggs, Manchester United Ryan Giggs. Now what this say?
No, he was an refuge.
But Ronaldo 37. Retire. And Ferguson Sako fan by. Ferguson Sako fan by some number one. Or Bebon Mamus half away.
That is and none ya parliament trans ya mrasi yengura forest in tutu mewa ye nyina ankase ye nyi samra ne fi
yes
if you want
nyina ankase ye ye samra o man ankase ye nyi
if forest mama obi enwura sa papa your papa yi me ayi friend say see wo no
brown
wama ngrofa wuram emra ye nyina bo say ye fi ono
act minister for lands
and no any compartment no kan one
compartment no kan
one
mining permit no dey
one kan one am companies be 9 ewuram ade a womampani ahye Ghana fo nyina abo no wode nkofa wuram wo ye gya no me na ezo to say opposition ni bia no obagye say dey wo dwene o I'm telling you na no to da ko etiwo amisi forest commission there ne ho niam no dey do so ye be sesa dey about chopo wotuma ba na otutu ako me say otam na eben woni bibi ministers ne CEO for no advantage bi onwanya party for no ehyiom no oh ye mpo ye ntua ye ka we call office ye ntua mai pay da enne media budget ye factor mu ana eno na am national anthem ene ye nsanka pay ye ntua ye ka o eti omunko for mo show mo asing na no mo national anthem.
I'm shocked because president are receiving a salary about the same. President any special arrangement.
It will be a question. See a factor of media budget in one. One factor mo show no ntua mo ka.
Oh, I think I don't know.
Yes, because there was some national anthem no.
Minister say they are paying contrary to the claim say they are not spending no at first and say or spending
in the right places.
No one try somebody men are serious no
so the question is I don't know nyina obia say your office in Sanka pay
so
obia say anomuka eto mo factor mo no mo ntua mo ka
you mo ka no mo dey no
mo hwenko for mo ase
okay
mo hwenko na obi on ma woni CEO awoni NBC mo obi dawo won mo akatamanso onim no onim akatawia
no there be
and no there be CEO and me kan na otu da ko o mampani ma na ni nko CEO for no dodo na e punish deputy CEO for no.
Sir,
I'm telling you.
Yes. We
do one now.
Companies Ben
oh, baby,
state agencies Ben sir. But 3 man.
What do you mean? Forestry Commission.
Or had a deputy.
I mean, count 9.
Student loan trust fund.
Thank you.
Oh, me am quite do that.
Oh.
Kwajo dangwa.
I'm telling you. What's the bomber?
From Brai na katenu.
O trifano na zo beti me
aka. O twinka.
That's what me.
This is sorry no.
Yeah, me kwajo dangwa student loan trust. One down, one ahead.
My doctor
Ana doctor mi akwaju.
Wa finish no kwa.
Ana when bi state agents bi.
Me say chama list the amount. That is ring na ewu. What man say? Ya mo adwuma nye, omo nka bibia ho.
No, omo nkotra meeting no mu bi.
Me say omo fo omo to say, won be ka mo. Na onim say the man ye wanwa. See wo for seniors no. About to say 30% pe no mo ye ndisi fo amu ye adwuma.
Okay.
About 70% ni amu ye ndisi fo. Na deputy CEO
omo nya ndisi fo.
Oh, they make count man say. No omo nya ndisi fo.
Mami ase.
Twice commissioner NDC ni. Mineral commissioner NDC ni. Who tie me? Na I go for University of Ghana for.
And that's so you with him.
Okay. University of Ghana University of Ghana from Momo NDC for. Lord Mensa money omo NDC for. Kwabena Mensa. Who we are not Professor we
Lord Mensa su krabi.
Omo nyina Lord Mensa su krabi. Who Jampo. Who the common institution. Omo nyina NDC for. Me 30% for no NDC for. Correct. NDC for ni na deputy for no. Deputy CEO bia NDC ni mapa eso onka ho.
Mahama study ni ma.
O study there.
Resha for baba.
You go study nko for na wu.
Ye ni me ye onwu.
There be on to ni am say. Na some my company from evan kwa gidrim.
I can promise you sir after 1 year no be resha for.
And say dey life.
Resha for baba.
Ade no won kan oni am CEO na obi abana na adwuma se me no nya adwuma. Bibia won kan ho.
Oni o mo nya adwuma se.
Ibi ka Accra ni pan ba use so me ma.
It's deputy CEO the BB car.
Oh, CEO financial commission using all the time. Your man 2018 a car. Language 2 year free forestry. We'll do a school and break it down. I say you. Meanwhile, some of the anyway directors now as I for no. 2024, 2025 registration language.
So he said usual number year requisition. I'm sure it will come.
Who should request?
Say CEO no. Sorry, deputy CEO no.
Why yeah, but your money.
Yes, so that's what you need. So you make your decision.
Oh, yeah, appointment or bar more.
It comes with it.
Yes.
And I am my war. So you make requisition.
You running now, you're few. And to be someone penning a pound for cheap yourself. Move for money, deputy for in EU. Now, especially when I don't go in there. I won't go Casama for them quite a way. So I call one squad. No,
yeah, the family.
I call what to make use of one thing.
Miamakoa,
Chasakoa. My goodness, come we correct.
What in Kuala benches?
We see one new office. When you bomb maybe
Chasakoa.
Yeah, meet on Kobe. On Kabi.
Oh, say
one no.
Chasa ni didn't.
Me see the name man also German. Then any idea.
Chasa one ye.
Gaming.
Chasa buidam.
Game commission.
Banu so ni akonya.
Oh, Chasa so mo dem call on put the west.
That na COCS ah.
Mama o. About me no nya adwuma. Me wo me nipa me be adwuma. Sanko a.
Ayi afa list ne brain.
Mama list no.
Me ba cho COCS no. Ye be sheda ye mo adwuma. Mo am ye ade no ye be mo
baso.
Na mo am nya ade no de. Say ya tena hey. Ye mo obi anu do Mahama ni was. Ana ye mo obi anso mie ne deputy CEO. Because wo ofum ne yi we dia, he will take the person will take over. Enti munyas
we dey man kasa why won sabe kan anyumre ye
from am anyumre ye
yeah program
we dey say bizarre ya be ka bibi
now dan kwa okura akọ ye mentonka ebe de no say me o sauti in kwara benches wo bre wo me frɛ koju de me amenia ana Peter so ka hwenche
ya fa ko wa
tasa ko wa
on ra dem ho oh abonti so ta wo
that's it live on Accra 100.5 FM kwajo ya bua akwa mischievous woni ni atas makati me kwa heavy na me hu ma surprise da me kwa heavy me hu kwajo ya bua na me hu chas makati me surprise me kwa heavy na me hu samwe hu nta me surprise akofoi wo mi ni papani fo papa anyways enti like we said and then yetiti ani Kim Uno Paul Scholes retired and was brought back to win the league. And since then, Manchester United has not been able to win the English Premier League very well. I thought by Samuel, if any appointee in this government is found doing, I'm not getting that. The loss of this, I'm not getting that. Please come again. Okay. Lawrence Ajay is also here. Pastor Yedilai, also thanks Kujo. Prince Kujo Fusuwara. So GTV is Ghana made. That's why. Okay. Lily Mackenzie. Also nine show. Haj Musto. Kwajo, keep the fire. Lizakuya Kwanza also Kwajo for presidential advisor hands down. Abbas Rimpong. So Charles, you are right. I'm welder, so I need support from government to establish my shop. Munko any IP office. Any IP hire Togo embassy runabout. Okaso here Honorable Adam Mr. Rikeji. na waka chenso entrepreneur obabwa. Okay. Eric Efri Osikwajo is telling true about that man. Was April the 2nd. Demonstration coming soon for Freeport for Ghana. David Gill, Naughty Tukuli. Greetings. 2019 Honda Pilot Elite. I paid 160. Very well. Midini na no to da Ghana kasama phone ni. Aha na mrema me kwan ni edwumade na sie na kwa me kwache me producer imano na yintie fly on Facebook. Kochina ebeye edwumane yi. Enti me pacho whatever decision you make ayana wadwene Ghana ho kane. Nyankopon hyira mo.